Good evening, everybody. What's up? What's up? Say what's up to everybody. Get to the chat. And if you love that intro, because I love it, please go sub my man Grismatically. Give that man a sub. Hung out with Grizz all day today. Woke up this morning, I was like, damn. Grizz is streaming live? What? So I got on there real quick, got to work, loaded it up. My coworker's like, what case is he talking about? And I was like, oh, he ain't talking about no cases, man. I said, you know the guy that made my intro? I'm just chilling on his channel right now. Just talking. We were cracking up. We were cracking up all day, man. Good shit. Definitely want to say what's up. What's up, Kevin? How you doing tonight, man? You got your night off? What's up, Butterfly Kisses? What's up, Skittles? We missed you. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. What's up, Kid Kitty? What's up, Pam? Good evening, Pam. Thank you, Kid Kitty. I appreciate that. Boom, 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 boom. What's up, Cassie? Pam's hanging in there. Definitely sub my man Grizz. What's up, SRB? What's up, Amy? There he is. What's up, Grizz? Boom, boom, boom. Damn, I ain't played games in forever. I ain't played no video game in forever. That used to be my thing, too. What's up, Kel? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Doing good, Skittles. Thank you for asking. Can't wait to get this bird in the ground. It's fighting me hard. Yes, Cujo Chinchilla Bot. That motherfucker was all over the place. That little Cujo Chinchilla was being a Cujo today, wasn't he? I bet it did, dude. I bet that shit did. But I bet it felt good, man. I bet it felt good. Good stuff. Fingers are not. Uh-oh, I lost it. Are not working with my brain. Uh-oh. Right, SRB? Oh, hell no. Yes, you are. That is damn straight, fam. I ain't touched a video game and oh gosh, I have no idea. It's the longest I ain't touched a video game in my whole life, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. That's been since I was a little kid. Man, you guys are talking all these commercials today. I think I'm gonna have to make me a commercial. I think it'd be cool, like make me a little transition video where if I'm switching from one thing to another or something, then a little commercial for the merch. Hey, if you would like a new coffee mug, I need to make Grizz's own sticker. Be cool to have some stickers. Yeah, you guys were talking about a commercial today in Grizz's show, and I got to thinking, I was like, damn, I need a commercial for my merch store. That'd be sweet. Like if I need to go to the bathroom or something. Just a couple minute commercial, y'all be like, yeah, he's going to the bathroom right now. Yeah, we'll get that. I'll get it all worked out tonight, and I'll send you some stuff tomorrow, Cassie. Just let me know the 3 colors you're wanting with all that, and I can get the Evil CJ logo. There's different colors in that. We can get different colors in your name. Just let me know. She sent me an idea. Yeah. So I should have something finalized tomorrow. Oh, okay, cool. I never got it. I'll have to check in here after the show. Yeah. And let me know if you want like with Grace, she has like a butterfly with hers. If there's something you'd kind of want around your name or something on the front of the t-shirt, let me know. I know. Maybe Saturday I can sit back and throw something together. I'm just so busy. If I'm not going through the prep and I'm not, doing little things to update the channel, like just that little stuff behind the scenes shit, I feel bad. I'm so busy, but it's all for this, so it's all good. I'll see if I can think of something this weekend or something. Yeah. So we're going to be talking Lori Vallow Daybell tonight. We're going to be going into the timeline, how it all went down. And then Thursday night, Delphi. And then Friday night, we will have a hangout show. Unless something crazy happens, but Fridays, we usually just hang out on Fridays. Kick it, bullshit. Be doing some more Jackbox again. And then I'll have tomorrow night off. But I'll still be, I think I'm going to be working on some short videos and stuff like that to put up. In the meantime, I'll still be working on the channel. But I don't know. Maybe tomorrow night I can try and do some. Just got to think of 3 minutes of content or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yes, I love this song. It makes me think of GTA Vice City when that came out. I was so pumped for that game. I was like, yes, Tommy Vercetti. Oh, it is a good song though. Yeah, Vice City. Couldn't get away. Cassie. Oh, nice, man. Well, I'll keep that playing. I like taking 15, 25 minutes out of the beginning of the show just to say what's up, chill back with everybody, chit chat for a minute before we get into this dark shit we talk about damn near every day. Thank you, SRB. That's the thing about true crime, though. It's dark. It's real. It's graphic. But it's like we all say, it's about putting the word out there. It's about talking about it. Just like that Stephen Smith case. I wish more people were talking about the white polo. I wish more people were talking about the chain of custody when it came to the phone. I wish more people were talking about Singleton. I wish people would talk about them things more when it comes to Stephen Smith. Oh, are you think you're missing something about the Cassie? You know what? Let me put Cassie's link up there too. Here, let me put everybody's link up there again. Hold on 1 second. Let me throw everybody's link up there. I do want to throw up Crime Lines and Lies. She was covering Stephen Smith's case today, so I want to say thank you to her. I appreciate you. Throw her up there. Let me see. Let's go down the list here. Let's see here. Kevin Kraft. I'm going to throw his Facebook business link up there as well, as long as his YouTube channel. There's that. Hey, where's my next song? All right, here it is. All right, let me throw a few more up there. We got Cassie. We'll throw up both of her links up there too, because I know she will be having a YouTube. You're going to be making some content for YouTube too, right? There's that. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I did. I added the color street. And of course, we got my man Grizz with the fucking great ass intro. What's up, Chris? How you doing tonight, buddy? Chris, I need to get with you too sometime because I'd like to cover a case that you don't think gets enough attention, my friend. So we'll have to get with each other at some point, maybe throughout the next few days or maybe this weekend or something. Whatever case you think doesn't get talked about enough, Chris, I'd like you. One that, is dear to your heart, doesn't get enough attention, let me know, man. And I will cover that case one night. And oh yeah, hold on 1 second here. I forgot to throw this out there.
I am the eye in the sky, looking at you. I can read your mind.
There we go, Grizz. My bad about that. I thought I already made you one. I watch StreamYard chat all the time, so I never see the wrenches. Because if I try and watch YouTube's chat, it's so fucking all over the place. It just is. What? Nah, Grizz is a dude, bro. Grizz is a guy, man. Feel that wind blowing? Right, Grizz? It's all good. Oh, I know you're cracking up too, Grizz. I know it. Oh, look at this. Hold on, we gotta open it. What is that? Stickers all over his face, Cassie? What's up, Cold Truth? Thanks for hopping in. I've been meaning to reach out to you too. I've been so busy. I want to do a number 2 episode. I appreciate a lot of great content creators here that show me support, and I just want to thank you so much, all you amazing content creators. I appreciate you. I don't know. This is some karaoke. I have no idea who it is. I'll probably get in trouble for this one, though, honestly. All right, we'll go one more, and then we'll get into the Lori Vallow Daybell shit. But yeah, Chris, let me know what one case in your cold case group you feel doesn't get enough attention, and I wanna talk about that one just for you, buddy. Definitely sub to Cold Truth. Beautiful soul. Yes, it's a sticker. Does not got it. Oh wow, 400, huh? Yes, I'm gonna do that right now. Give me 1 second. Ooh. I totally forgot. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm just getting back to some messages here. Okay. Yeah, let me show that picture real quick. Turn this music down. Turn that music up, and then I want to show this picture. Cassie sent it to me. This is Lincoln with some of his 400 stickers. All right, here we go. With his some of the 400 stickers, not all of them. Here, let me see if I can zoom in. Hold on. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Yes, I can. Oh, whoa, that's way. Why is it doing this? That's like way big. Holy crap. Let me see. Let's see if I can make it bigger than that. Let's see. Full screen, maybe? That's as close as I could make it. Yeah. Cold Truth is awesome. Wait till he gets markers. What you're at? Do you know how many times I've cleaned? Oh no! Thankfully, they are tile. It's from the 70s. Yeah, it was originally the Alan Parsons project, but I don't know who was singing in that version of it. Usually, I don't do the songs with lyrics because it'll get me in trouble. But that one came across. I was like, that'd be a cool one to add to the rotation. Let it be noted that I am not none of the not the Nana. I'm going to be having a doing tattoos yet. Oh shit. I was in and out. I heard something like that. I didn't. That's the thing. Like I'd be in and out from time to time, and then I'd lose track of what everybody was talking about and stuff. I'm sorry I couldn't chat much. Sorry I couldn't chat much. Even if I'm that number that helps you out, man. Like, I can post, copy and paste and post whatever, here and there when I get a little break from the welder and shit. And, I know, even if it's, being a number, man. Like, I just wanted to show you support on your live there. What's up, Ruckus Rocks? Thanks for hopping in. I gotta make a better link for you because I just added yours real quick, but definitely sub to the man over there as well. Good stuff over there. I wish I had more time to hang out more, for sure. Definitely sub to Ruckus. And thank you everybody for hopping in. All right, so I'm gonna switch. Yeah. And thank you all for hanging out in Grizz's live today too. Seriously. Like it was so cool, like cause I got in that shit when there's like what, 2 people or something, man. I think there's like 2 people watching when I got to work at 6:30. I got in there and I turned it on and I'm like, I'm gonna listen to this dude all day, man, and just support him like shit because he's been supporting the show. And been just such a pleasure to have, whether it's in chat or whether it's the thoughts and opinions or when you were up on panel that one night hanging out with us all, man. Like ever since you came in the channel, man, it's been nothing but love. So I totally appreciate you, man. Hey, Ruckus, I just want to let you know there's CJ's Angels in this chat, but I don't know what the fuck's going on over in Grizz's. Those are Grizz's Angels. I don't know what the fuck Grizz's Angels do, but in this, these are CJ's Angels. So you be all good, man. Oh shit. I don't know. When did you start your live, Grizz? Like midnight or something? Because I know when I woke up to get ready for work, I was like, damn, he's streaming. And then by the time I got to work and then I flipped it up, you were still on there. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to hang out. I'm gonna hang out in here. I didn't do none of my prep during the day that I usually do. I didn't watch nobody else's shit, man. I just chilled back and kicked it in your shit the whole time. It was a blast. Thanks, man. It was good times. Made the day go quick. Good laughs and shit. My coworker, my partner, he was even laughing his ass off, man. That shit was funny. So appreciate you. Like 12:30. What's up, Cherry Cherry? This is Lincoln, Cassie's son. Some of his 400 stickers from his sticker book, just some of them. He's got to be a crab ruckus after fucking streaming that long, man. That had to take it out of you. Yeah, the Cujo Chinchilla bot. That motherfucker was Cujo today. I bet. I bet, Grizz. Oh, nothing but love for you too, man. I first started noticing you in ATS's streams and stuff, and I was like, "That's a cool name." I'm glad our paths crossed, man. Cool dude. I'm a caffeineaholic. I am too. I love coffee. Shit, just coffee though. I ain't into that energy drink. That shit's too much. Fuck around and get a heart attack. All right, so I'm gonna switch. We're gonna watch it's a court TV special that was from a couple years ago. I had two specials to choose from. I had a Ashley Banfield one. That was like a 24-minute one from 8 days ago, and then I found this court TV one from 2 years ago, and I watched both of them when I came home while I was doing my prep. And the court TV one, it's like 40 some minutes, but it's just so much more informative when it comes to the timeline and the background and all that other stuff. So I was gonna cover Lori and Letitia today, but I kind of changed it up. I'm like, you know what? There's so much stuff with each one of these. I'm just gonna go ahead and devote a whole night for each one. So we'll probably do Letitia at some point this weekend, if not the beginning of next week. We're gonna do Lori Vallow Daybell tonight. I have tomorrow off. Thursday night Delphi, Friday night hangouts, and then we'll see what's up with Saturday. I don't know. So I was trying to decide between News Nation and Court TV. I did like the shorter one because I do have a lot of other stuff, updates and all that other stuff to go through, recent updates up to today. But as I was watching that Court TV one and the News Nation Banfield one, I'm like, there's so much just stuff in the News Nation one. I really don't even feel is really that important. But the court TV one was a little bit lengthier, but it's just full of nothing but information. So we'll go ahead and check out that court TV special that they had. And then after that, I'm going to share with you guys a link that will give you the latest updates for the Lori Vallow case. Thank you, SRB, for that link. I'll go ahead and read through some of that. And then after that, we'll get into all of the newer updates that have come out in the last few days, just to kind of give you guys an idea of a rundown. So if there's anybody that is familiar with this case, or if you'd like to hop up, you're more than welcome. I'm going to go ahead and open up panel. And here, I'll switch that, sorry. Open up panel, and then we will go ahead and dive into it. Had enough autopsies? Let me see here, 1 second. I'll have to have CJ let me know what he wants. Yeah, whatever case he feels doesn't get enough attention, I would like to cover that one. Whatever case, Chris, you feel doesn't get enough attention in the cold case group that you have, go ahead and send it to SRB or me, and I will get into that case. I'll do some prep on it, and I will cover that one night because I definitely want to put some attention out there on something you feel is not getting enough. You know, just like this Stephen Smith one, it's the same thing. Like, this shit needs to be talked about. What's up, Kevin? How you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Did you land that plane all good?
I was in a chopper, man. I'm in a plane now, though.
Oh, chopper. Let's see. That's not the one I had to change. Yeah, it's when I watched those specials earlier, I was like, dang, it's disgusting. They're all disgusting though. What's up, Punksy? Yeah, this whole doomsday thing is just freaking nuts.
What doomsday thing? I missed something.
We're talking Lori Vallow Daybell tonight.
I feel like I've heard that name, but I can't remember.
Yeah, she was part. Well, I think they consider it a cult. We're going to be going into the whole background of it for those who don't know about it. We're going to do that special first, so you can kind of get the background of everything. Then I'm going to go through some of the timeline text document that SRB sent me. And then we're going to be going through a lot of the recent updates that came out over the last few days. Her trials is starting. It's recent, fresh. Let's see, it's been in there. Yeah, it's a cult, Pam says. Yeah. The doomsday, what is it called? Doomsday cult or some crap like that. I don't know. All right, so I do want to play this first because I love playing these after school videos whenever they come across. It's a little 10-minute video. I forgot about this. I do want to check this out real quick. Then we will get into that special. But I always love showing these videos when they come out.
I don't like words that hide the truth. I don't like words that conceal reality. I don't like euphemisms or euphemistic language. And America is loaded with euphemisms because Americans have a lot of trouble dealing with reality. Americans have trouble facing the truth. So they invent a kind of a soft language to protect themselves from it. And it gets worse with every generation. For some reason, it just keeps getting worse. I'll give you an example of that. There's a condition in combat. Most people know about it. It's when a fighting person's nervous system has been stressed to its absolute peak and maximum, can't take any more input. The nervous system has either snapped or is about to snap. In the First World War, that condition was called shell shock. Simple, honest, direct language, 2 syllables, shell shock. Almost sounds like the guns themselves. That was 70 years ago. Then a whole generation went by, and the Second World War came along, and the very same combat condition was called battle fatigue. 4 syllables now, takes a little longer to say, doesn't seem to hurt as much. Fatigue is a nicer word than shock. Shell shock, battle fatigue. Then we had the war in Korea, 1950. Madison Avenue was riding high by that time, and the very same combat condition was called operational exhaustion. Hey, we're up to 8 syllables now. Humanity has been squeezed completely out of the phrase. It's totally sterile now. Operational exhaustion. Sounds like something that might happen to your car. Then, of course, came the war in Vietnam, which has only been over for about 16 or 17 years, and thanks to the lies and deceit surrounding that war, I guess it's no surprise that the very same condition is called post-traumatic stress disorder. Still 8 syllables, but we've added a hyphen. And the pain is completely buried under jargon. Post-traumatic stress disorder. I'll bet you if we'd have still been calling it shell shock, some of those Vietnam veterans might have gotten the attention they needed at the time. I'll bet you. I'll bet you. But it didn't happen. And one of the reasons is because we were using that soft language, that language that takes the life out of life. And it is a function of time. It does keep getting worse. Give you another example. Sometime during my life, toilet paper became bathroom tissue. I wasn't notified of this. No one asked me if I agreed with it. It just happened. Toilet paper became bathroom tissue. Sneakers became running shoes. False teeth became dental appliances. Medicine became medication. Information became directory assistance. The dump became the landfill. Car crashes became automobile accidents. Partly cloudy became partly sunny. Motels became motor lodges. House trailers became mobile homes. Used cars became previously owned. Room service became guest room dining. And constipation became occasional irregularity. When I was a little kid, if I got sick, they wanted me to go to the hospital and see the doctor. Now they want me to go to a health maintenance organization or a wellness center to consult a healthcare delivery professional. Poor people used to live in slums. Now the economically disadvantaged occupy substandard housing in the inner cities. And they're broke. They're broke. They don't have a negative cash flow position. They're fucking broke.
Thank you, Chris.
Because a lot of them were fired. You know, fired. Management wanted to curtail redundancies in the human resources area. So many people are no longer viable members of the workforce. Smug, greedy, well-fed people have invented a language to conceal their sins. It's as simple as that. The CIA doesn't kill anybody anymore. They neutralize people. Or they depopulate the area. The government doesn't lie. It engages in disinformation. The Pentagon actually measures nuclear radiation in something they call sunshine units. Israeli murderers are called commandos. Arab commandos are called terrorists. Contra killers are called freedom fighters. Well, if crime fighters fight crime and firefighters fight fire, what do freedom fighters fight? They never mention that part of it to us, do they? Never mention that part of it. And some of this stuff is just silly. We all know that. Like on the airlines, they say they want a pre-board. Well, what the hell is pre-board? What does that mean? To get on before you get on? They say they're going to pre-board those passengers in need of special assistance. Cripples! Simple, honest, direct language. There's no shame attached to the word cripple that I can find in any dictionary. No shame attached to it. In fact, it's a word used in Bible translations. Jesus healed the cripples. Doesn't take 7 words to describe that condition. But we don't have any cripples in this country anymore. We have the physically challenged. Is that a grotesque enough evasion for you? How about differently abled? I've heard them call that differently abled. You can't even call these people handicapped anymore. They'll say, we're not handicapped, we're handy-capable. These poor people have been bullshitted by the system into believing that if you change the name of the condition, somehow you'll change the condition. Well, hey, cousin, doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. We have no more deaf people in this country, hearing impaired. No one's blind anymore, partially sighted or visually impaired. We have no more stupid people. Everybody has a learning disorder. Or he's minimally exceptional. How would you like to be told that about your child? He's minimally exceptional. Oh, thank God for that. Psychologists actually have started calling ugly people those with severe appearance deficits. It's getting so bad that any day now I expect to hear a rape victim referred to as an unwilling sperm recipient. And we have no more old people in this country. No more old people. We shipped them all away, and we brought in these senior citizens. Isn't that a typically American 20th century phrase? Bloodless, lifeless. No pulse in one of them. A senior citizen. But I've accepted that one. I've come to terms with it. I know it's here to stay. We'll never get rid of it. That's what they're going to be called, so I'll relax on that. But the one I do resist, the one I keep resisting, is when they look at an old guy and they'll say, look at him, Dan. He's 90 years young. Imagine the fear of aging that reveals. To not even be able to use the word old to describe someone, to have to use an antonym. And fear of aging is natural, it's universal, isn't it? We all have that. No one wants to get old, no one wants to die, but we do. So we bullshit ourselves. I started bullshitting myself when I got to my 40s. As soon as I was in my 40s, I'd look in the mirror and I'd say, well, I guess I'm getting older. Older sounds a little better than old, doesn't it? Sounds like it might even last a little longer. Bullshit, I'm getting old. And it's okay, because thanks to our fear of death in this country, I won't have to die. I'll pass away. Or I'll expire like a magazine subscription. If it happens in the hospital, they'll call it a terminal episode. The insurance company will refer to it as negative patient care outcome. And if it's the result of malpractice, they'll say it was a therapeutic misadventure. I'm telling you, some of this language makes me want to vomit. Well, maybe not vomit. Makes me want to engage in an involuntary personal protein spill. Thank you all.
Oh, that shit was crazy. We think in language. The quality of our thoughts and ideas can only be as good as the quality of our language. What is this ritual stuff you guys are talking about in chat? Who are you guys talking about?
I haven't been paying attention to it, so I don't know.
I'm trying to read through it, and I'm confused. Vallow? Wait, hold on. The case where the Lori Vallow? What? I haven't heard of that. Is that serious? What the heck? I have not heard anything like that. That's real? Are you serious? Is that was only one of them dismembered? Because I remember hearing dismemberment. I'm confused here. Huh. I'm sitting here in shock. I'm confused. All right. This is a special with East Idaho News and Court TV. They did a special together. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Chris Eaton, maybe, I think is his name. He was the one that was actually, this gentleman right here in the Santa hat, he was actually the one that went out to Hawaii to confront Chad and Lori when they were in Hawaii when it all started going down. He actually tracked them down because that's when they left. They left right away, and then this reporter tracked them down, and they were allowed to go out there and basically try and get answers from her. I'm pretty sure it was Lori too. Not what? I remember hearing that, Pam. Right, layers of duct tape. I remember hearing about the girl dismembered and partially burned. But I didn't hear anything about any of that other stuff you guys are talking about in chat. I don't know. That's some crazy stuff. All right, I'm going to get into this special here. And we'll chill back and take pauses every now and then. And then we'll get into the updates. So this is a background of the case.
She said, "You're not Charles. I don't know who you are, what you did with Charles, but I can murder you now."
We're gathering together as saints, as brothers, and preparing for the second coming of Christ.
She needs some serious help. I want her to get help.
You ever had something that you knew was the right thing to do, but it turns out that later on it was a felony?
I turned around and he hit me in the back of the head with a bat. I went to my room and got my gun.
How long did that take?
Like, hi neighbor, sorry.
We did respond to an unattended death at the Daybell home, and Tammy Daybell was deceased.
Rexford police knocked on this door conducting a welfare check, only to find Lori and her new husband Chad Daybell were nowhere to be found.
Where are your kids? No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
No comment.
Every minute of every day where Lori's not saying something, it's a slap in the face.
Where are my brother and sister? Can't be that hard.
Tell us where the kids are. That's all I want to know.
Nothing is coincidental. And I think there are way too many coincidences going on.
Welcome to the Doomsday Couple, a Court TV special. I'm Court TV anchor Ted Rollins. The story of Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, a combination of religion, love, and murder. For investigators, it began with 2 missing children. It ended with 5 people dead, and a small community in eastern Idaho left wondering why. Rexburg, Idaho, surrounded by the Teton and Sawtooth Mountains, sits 90 minutes from the western entrance of Yellowstone National Park. The people living in this section of eastern Idaho say they're closer than most, in part because nearly everyone living here is Mormon.
It's probably the area.
Thank you,
We're all
Punksy.
LDS, the majority of us. And I think that's probably something that draws us all together.
So in November of 2019, when news that 2 children from a local Mormon family were missing, it immediately grabbed people's attention. Sunderland is the managing of the...
People were interested in the story right at the beginning. We don't normally get missing kids news releases that are like this. And it just continued to get bigger and bigger.
16-year-old Tylee Ryan and her little brother, 7-year-old JJ Vallow. Their smiles, now on a missing poster, hadn't been seen in weeks, and their mother, Lori Vallow, apparently wasn't cooperating with police.
Typically when a missing person is reported, it's the parents that call us. And so when we posted this story, I think people immediately knew there's something fishy.
Eventually, the FBI brought in to help, and the story started to spread far beyond eastern Idaho.
As the investigation continues into the disappearance of her 2 younger children.
Along with the FBI, Rexburg police have asked multiple other agencies throughout the U.S. to join in on the investigation.
The story of the missing children, JJ and Tylee, didn't just stay in the local East Idaho news. It took off around the nation. And the kicker was that their mother, beautiful blonde Lori Vallow, is seemingly unconcerned.
JJ's grandparents, Larry and Kay Woodcock, were the first to sound the alarm. The Woodcocks had a special relationship with JJ.
JJ was in neonatal ICU, NICU, because he was born 2 pounds and 14 ounces, and he was 10 weeks premature. He was our baby from, just instant fall in love. That's what you do with grandkids. You just fall in love immediately.
JJ was adopted by Charles and Lori Vallow when he was 1. But before that, he lived with his grandparents, Kay and Larry.
He's autistic, so there's, they have issues.
Charles and Lori got him and had him in the special schools. His intelligence level was unbelievable.
Even after they were adopted, the grandparents kept a very close connection with JJ. They Skyped all the time.
Charles Vallow died in July of 2019. After he passed, the Woodcocks and Lori had a falling out. But Larry and Kay still desperately wanted to see or at least talk to JJ. But Lori had essentially cut off communication.
I was emailing her and begging her, please, we will fly to Arizona, we will fly to wherever you are, give us an hour with him.
The fallout between Lori and the Woodcocks was partially over money, $1 million. Before Charles Vallow died, he switched the beneficiary to his life insurance policy from Lori to his sister Kay.
Smart
I didn't
man.
ask for that. He did it because he knew we were going to end up with JJ.
Yeah.
Or so he thought.
The Woodcocks haven't heard from JJ Vallow for weeks, for months. They get concerned. They're used to hearing from this 7-year-old on FaceTime and videos and phone calls. They're trying to call him. They aren't getting through. Their concern eventually grows to the point that they contact the Chandler, Arizona Police Department.
That call from Larry and Kay Woodcock would set off what would become a months-long search for JJ and his sister Tylee. Police tracked down the children's mother, Lori, in Rexburg, Idaho, where she'd been living for nearly 3 months. There was no sign of JJ or Tylee, but Lori wasn't living alone. Her brother, Alex, had also moved to Rexburg at the same time and was renting a unit in the same complex. And in the apartment next door to Lori, her niece, Melanie Boudreau, who had come to Rexburg along with Alex and Lori, leaving her children behind in Arizona.
Lori, I'm Lieutenant Vallow Police Department. How are you? You got a minute?
This is a recording of the first and only interaction between Lori and police, talking about the whereabouts of her children.
Y'all alone or help?
My brother's here.
So JJ would be where?
He's in Arizona.
Who's he with in Arizona?
She's with one of my friends in Arizona.
Lori would tell police that JJ was with a woman named Melanie Gibb, and his sister Tylee was off at college. Then she started to ramble.
It is very weird. I've had to move around a lot. One of my brothers is trying to kill me. Not the brother that lives here, obviously. He's kind of my protector.
She even brought up Kay Woodcock and the $1 million.
What happened was my husband, who we were married for 16 years and had raised all these 5 kids together, switched his life insurance policy to her, right? To his sister, who got $1 million when he died, and we got nothing. For me to raise JJ, and all the kids got nothing, and everybody got nothing.
That day, police also had a strange interaction with Lori's new husband, Chad Daybell, who at first claimed he didn't know Lori's phone number. It was obvious that something was wrong. So the next day, police returned with a search warrant, but Lori and her new husband, Chad, were gone.
There was food in the refrigerator, food in the pantry. Everything had been taken off the hangers, and there was no clothes in the dresser drawers.
When they return to the home, she's nowhere to be found. Her friends, her family don't know where Lori Vallow is.
Coming up, Lori tracked down in Hawaii.
Where are your kids? No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say?
Plus, Lori's new husband, Chad Daybell.
Living on the Edge of Heaven, where I tell more about my 2 near-death experiences and how that prompted me to write my novels.
And frustration grows.
But tell us where the kids are.
When the Doomsday Couple, a Court TV special, returns.
Kids, y'all know that I love you. I want you home more than I want to breathe.
By the first week of December 2019, just days after the unsuccessful welfare check on 7-year-old JJ Vallow, an all-out search was underway for both JJ and his older sister, Tylee Ryan. The children's mother, Lori Vallow, who told police that JJ was in Arizona and Tylee was in college, had vanished, along with her new husband, Chad Daybell.
We attempted several times to get a hold of Lori, and her cell phone was shut off. We attempted to get a hold of Chad and never gotten any return phone calls. And in fact, they retained an attorney and refused to answer any questions.
Investigators quickly determined that Tylee was never enrolled in
Good
college,
evening.
and
Hello?
Lori's Arizona friend, Melanie Gibb, who originally lied to police, she confessed, saying she never had JJ. She was only covering for her friend Lori.
She told me that the police had been there asking for JJ, and that she told the police that I had JJ, that I was at a movie called Frozen.
Weeks would go by with no significant leads, and by early January, concern for the children's safety was growing. Larry and Kay Woodcock, JJ's grandparents, were doing everything they could to keep the story alive.
Please, for God's sake, please step up. These are beautiful young children. We want them back.
This is Colby Ryan, Lori Vallow's oldest son, and Tylee Ryan's half-brother. Unable to get a hold of his mother, he posted an emotional plea to Lori on YouTube.
I'm your son. I would never want anything to happen to you, and I would never want anything to happen to Tylee and JJ ever.
He's not even fooled.
I know you know the right thing to do is, and I know that you have a good heart, so I know that it's time to do the right thing.
Lori Vallow is on her 5th marriage. Her 3rd marriage to Joseph Ryan, Tylee's father, ended in 2004. Joseph Ryan died in 2018 of an apparent heart attack. Lori's 4th husband, Charles Vallow, was a stabilizing force. Married for 15 years, Lori and Charles adopted JJ together and helped raise Tylee and Colby. Kay Woodcock is Charles Vallow's sister.
So it was just a family unit, and we were part of the unit, and we loved each other.
If somebody 2 years ago would have said, this is what's going to happen with Lori, I would have never believed it. Kay would have never believed it.
As the search for the kids and Lori and Chad continued in mid-January, Nate Sunderland, managing editor of the East Idaho News, says they started getting a few tips that Lori and Chad might be in Hawaii, a place Lori was very familiar with. She and Charles lived on the island of Kauai a few years with JJ and Tylee.
The police were going to go there, and they were going to try to either make an arrest or try to force the issue of coming back to Idaho. We were to go.
And I've 3 kids in my kids are at. Where are children?
They questioned them for 5 to 10 minutes, and we only got one response the entire time.
Listen, we're praying for you guys. Why don't you praying for your kids? What? You have nothing to say.
How infuriating that was for everyone watching. Sincerely concerned. It's almost as if the public's concern for the whereabouts of Tylee and JJ outweighs the parents.
With Lori and Chad now located in Hawaii, prosecutors back in Idaho came up with a plan. to bring Lori back by filing a child protection order.
It instructed her to bring her minor children to the Rexburg Police Department or the Department of Health and Welfare within 5 days of being served.
A few weeks later, with still no sign of Tylee and JJ, Lori Vallow was taken into custody by Hawaiian police.
Was transported here to the Kauai Police Department headquarters and booked into our cell block, where she stayed until she got taken to her court appearance earlier this morning.
First of all, Ms. Vallow, do you understand that a demand has been made for your surrender by the state of Idaho?
Yes. Lori's first court appearance was short. She arrived into court wearing plain clothes, and it's a packed courthouse. The judge sets bail $5 million, but significantly, her husband, Chad Daybell, is sitting just a few rows behind her, white shirt, blue tie, concerned look on his face.
Chad was there again in early March when Lori made her first court appearance back in Madison County, Idaho, wearing red lipstick and an orange and white jumpsuit. Also there, Larry and Kay Woodcock and Lori's son, Colby.
My whole plan is to try to go figure out a way to actually speak with her and, be able to get in front of her and just ask her son, just try to plead with her. Ask her where Tylee and JJ are. This can't be that hard to answer.
This is not about Lori, guys. This is Lori telling us where those two kids are.
Coming up, 2 dead spouses. Chad Daybell's wife mysteriously dies just days before his marriage to Lori. Plus, Lori's ex-husband, Charles.
So what makes her a danger to herself and to others? Threatened me, murder me, kill me. She threatened to murder you? Yes.
When the Doomsday Couple, a Court TV special, returns. In March 2020, Lori Vallow was back in Rexburg, Idaho. Her Hawaiian beach clothes replaced with an orange and white jumpsuit. Her husband, Chad, still by her side, supporting her during court appearances. Meanwhile, investigators still had no idea where her children were, and frustration over Lori and Chad's refusal to produce Tylee and JJ was starting to boil over.
I only have one question. Where are the kids?
It's been a couple months since anyone had seen JJ and Tylee, and it didn't look like their parents cared, and she wasn't willing to say anything.
While Rexburg police and the FBI were doing everything in their power to find Tylee and JJ, police in Chandler, Arizona were investigating Lori for another reason, the death of her 4th husband, Charles Vallow.
I got in a fight with my brother-in-law and I shot him in self-defense. And is he hurt or is he alive or? Yeah, there's blood. He's not moving.
That's Lori's brother, Alex Cox, calling 911 in July of 2019, saying he had just shot and killed his brother-in-law, Charles Vallow.
You know, no weapons? No weapons on me. All right, come on out this way.
When police arrive, they find Alex by himself at Lori's newly rented home.
I'm gonna have you have a seat right here on the curb.
Inside is Lori Vallow's 4th husband, Charles, dead on the living room floor.
What happened today? How did it get to this?
Alex told the officers that Charles came after him with a baseball bat, saying it all started between Lori and Charles, and that Tylee brought out a bat.
And then your niece pulls out bat?
Well, it wasn't verbal. He was getting close, and she came out to defend my sister. Her bat.
Your niece?
Yes.
Okay.
And then she poked at him, and then he took it away.
Alex said Lori and Tylee left to take JJ to school, and it was then that Charles came after him with that bat.
I turned around, and he hit me in the back of the head with the bat. So I went to my room and got my gun.
So you went to your room, meaning the room you're staying in?
Yeah.
Okay, and you brought a gun with you?
Yes.
You always bring a gun?
I can still carry always.
Then Lori and Tylee show up.
All right, so are you? Okay, just stand over there for just a second, guys.
And then I told him to put the bat down, and he wouldn't, and he came at me again.
And the wife just showed up as well.
And I said, I want you to put that bat down, and he wouldn't do it. And he's like, and he came at me with the bat again after he'd already hit me in the head. So I shot him to stop him.
He's sitting on the sidewalk. Police come up, ask him what happens, and he just sort of in a nonchalant way describes, oh, my brother-in-law hit me in the back of the head with a baseball bat, and I shot him in self-defense. Really unemotional, cool as a cucumber.
Then it was Lori's turn to talk to the police.
We just moved in here.
Gotcha. How long have you guys lived here?
I'm sorry?
How long have you lived here?
Like 3 weeks.
Oh, geez. Yeah, okay.
That's why the neighbors don't know us.
Gotcha.
Like, hi, neighbor, sorry.
The
Hi,
story
neighbors.
of what happened to
Sorry.
Charles and Alex and Lori's demeanor was suspicious. An investigation was immediately launched. Larry and Kay Woodcock didn't believe it for a second.
That was the most bull story that I have ever heard in my life. That was a setup, a absolute setup murder for hire.
Remember, Kay is Charles Vallow's sister. She knew that Charles and Lori were having problems. Charles had recently made Kay the beneficiary to his $1 billion life insurance policy, which Lori was about to find out.
She ran across, I imagine she was searching for the change of beneficiary form in Charles's files she had in Arizona. And she took a picture of it and she said, 5 kids and no money, and his sister gets everything. That was the last interaction with Lori.
Yeah, last communication.
Lori's ex-husband's death wasn't the only one being investigated. In Utah, the death of Chad Daybell's wife, Tammy, was also raising suspicion.
Suddenly, Tammy Daybell, Chad's first wife, passes away in her sleep. Now, this is a 49-year-old woman. She's an avid runner, and according to her friends and family, was in good health, seemed to be in good spirits around the time of her death, which really raised a lot of eyebrows.
Chad and Tammy Daybell were married for 28 years before Tammy's death.
They had 5 children. They lived out in little old Salem. He held religious positions in the LDS ward. They were kind of the quintessential Latter-day Saint couple.
Together, Chad and Tammy started a book publishing company. Chad was a prolific writer, authoring more than 30 books, most of them about his past visions and the end of times. Like-minded authors like Chad and Tammy's friend Julie Rowe used the Daybell's publishing company for their books. After Tammy's death, something Chad told Julie about a vision that his wife would die now seemed suspicious.
I did ask him, Chad, do you still see Tammy dying? And he said, yes, I do.
Also suspicious, Chad declined to have an autopsy performed on his wife, and there was his behavior at Tammy's funeral.
He recited many things that were not asked for, and concerning the details of her death. He told us what happened to her that morning. He told us that she had since been to visit him and is helping him set affairs in order, giving him direction on how to handle certain children and their future, and even where they should live, what schools they should go to. He told us all this in just the space of 2 minutes.
At their funeral, he didn't stay there very long. He was upbeat. He was talking to members of the family like nothing was wrong. It didn't seem like it didn't seem like it mattered all that much.
Most disturbing, however, just 10 days after Tammy's death, Chad was on a beach in Hawaii marrying his new wife, Lori. Coming up, Lori and Chad.
I think she did a bit of chasing. She was like a Chad groupie. And I think he likes that attention.
And the dark turn of Chad and Lori's religious predictions.
Says, I'm Nick Snyder. I've taken over Charles' body. And Charles will get killed. I'm going to kill you. You're going to be murdered today or tomorrow.
When the Doomsday Couple, a Court TV special, continues. On November 5th, 2019, Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow exchanged wedding vows. Wife, Tammy, of 28 years, had only been dead for 2.5 weeks, which, for friends and family back in Idaho, was difficult to comprehend.
Chad marries this woman who is beautiful. She's blonde, she's thin, she's very athletic. It was bizarre that his wife would just die and that he'd hook up with someone so quickly.
Chad, who according to court records received $430,000 in life insurance money, tried to explain his wife Tammy's death to Lori's friend Melanie in a phone call she recorded.
Tammy had been getting weaker and sick, and I begged her to go to the doctor. Her heart was failing her. She was physically falling apart. She hates doctors, and she just passed away.
And there was something else about Tammy's death that didn't seem right.
Lori Vallow used her deceased husband, Charles Vallow's Amazon account to order matching wedding rings 17 days before Chad Daybell's wife passes away. How does she know 17 days before Tammy Daybell dies in her sleep that Tammy Daybell was going to die in her sleep, that she has wedding rings prepared so that she can then marry Chad Daybell?
Chad and Lori's beach came just over a year after they first met at a religious conference. His friend, Melanie, Chad was a featured speaker.
He talked about the different visions he had of what he saw was going to happen in the last days.
Chad's visions, which he claimed started after a near-death diving accident when he was a teenager, made him a celebrity of sorts within a small community of like-minded Mormons that believed the end of the world was imminent.
I've recently released my autobiography entitled Living on the Edge of Heaven, where I tell more about my 2 near-death experiences.
He would have meetings at people's homes where he would sort of promote his books. He would usually have 20, 30 people. He would just talk about the ideas in his books and what he saw in visions. And they were enjoyable to listen to, and I felt they were genuine.
In the LDS faith, it is accepted for a person to have visions, and Chad was known for his sixth sense of things that may come or may not come. It was a way really for him to connect with other like-minded members of the Mormon Church to join together with him and share this common special ground.
According to Lori's friend Melanie, Lori and Chad had an instant connection and started communicating and seeing each other to discuss religion and Chad's visions. In December of 2018, they were featured together in a religious podcast.
We're gathering together as saints, as brothers and sisters, and preparing for the second coming of Christ.
It was obvious to Melanie Gibb that there was some chemistry between Chad and Lori, and that they had a relationship that went beyond just their doing podcasts together and discussing the end of the world.
Over the next few months, Lori was also starting to have visions, and Chad told friends that he had lived several past lives on different planets and that he and Lori had actually been married before.
The way he described it was that his veil was more open than it had been, and he started remembering some of his past lives.
Then in early 2019, Chad and Lori's beliefs, according to friends, started getting darker and stranger, including visions that certain people around them had turned into zombies, their bodies taken over by evil forces. One of those people was Lori's husband, Charles Vallow.
Her religious stuff is gone way off the deep end. Just way off.
Charles was so concerned about Lori's behavior, he contacted police, telling officers that Lori believed he, Charles, had been taken over by a zombie named Nick Schneider.
I've tried to support her as much as I could, but it's gotten really, really bad. Right now she's had a break. She says, I'm Nick Schneider. I've taken over Charles's body, and Charles will get killed. I'm going to kill you. You're going to be murdered today or tomorrow. I can do it. I'm not going to get my priesthood power. She has priesthood blessings.
Charles also told the officers that Lori had told him that she had special powers and that in a past life, she had been married to the angel Moroni, the figure seen holding a trumpet on top of many LDS temples.
She thinks she's married to Moroni in the past.
You think she's what?
Married to Moroni, top of the temple.
Angel.
Angel Moon.
LDS.
And she knows when the second coming is happening next year, so there's a prophet. It scared the crap out of me.
Okay.
6 months later, Charles Vallow was dead. Coming up, Alex Cox.
A lot of people believe that Alex Cox is like the family hitman.
As the bodies start piling up, one person seems to be connected to them all.
He believes that Alex Cox was the person who fired that shot.
When the Doomsday Couple, a Court TV special, returns. By early March 2020, Tylee and JJ had been missing for nearly 6 months. Lori was in jail. Chad was back in his family home in eastern Idaho. Neither one were talking. Investigators released these photos showing Tylee, JJ, Lori, and Lori's brother Alex Cox. The images were taken on September 8th at Yellowstone National Park. They were the last evidence of Tylee alive. The FBI was now asking for anyone who was at the park that same day to check their photos and send them to investigators.
This message from the FBI that, they wanted more information for the public, it was very evident that there was a lot of information about this case that maybe they couldn't quite piece together.
What investigators did know was the last day both Tylee and JJ were last seen. And on both days, Lori's brother, Alex Cox, was there. He's there in the Yellowstone photos on September 8th, and he was also there the last time JJ was seen on September 22nd. This is doorbell camera video of JJ running, captured on September 17th. The next week, on the night of the 22nd, Lori's friend, Melanie Gibb, was visiting Lori. She brought her boyfriend, David Warwick. The three were recording a religious podcast when Alex Cox walked in with JJ.
He was staying with Alex, and Alex brought him home and carried him to bed.
But the next morning, both Alex and JJ were gone, and the explanation that Lori gave was bizarre, saying her son had turned into a zombie.
She said that he was being a zombie and climbed up on the cabinets, climbed up on top of the fridge, smashed her picture of Christ down, and then climbed up onto the upper cabinets and got between the top of the cabinet and the ceiling. I asked to see him, and she just said that he was out of control, so she had Alex come and get him.
Remember, it was Alex Cox that killed Lori's fourth husband, Charles Vallow, claiming it was self-defense.
He came at me, and I shot him to stop him.
There was another incident possibly connected to Alex Cox in early October of 2019. Melanie Boudreau, Lori's niece, who moved to Rexburg at the same time as Lori and Alex, her soon-to-be ex-husband Brandon says somebody tried to kill him.
911, where's your emergency?
Someone just shot my window.
Someone shot at your vehicle?
Yeah, and it hit my window, it shattered my driver's side window.
Brandon had dropped off his kids, and he was coming back from the gym to his house. And as he pulled up to the curb, a shot came from a nearby Jeep that was parked on the opposite side of the street.
The bullet hit Brandon's Tesla, missing his head by a few inches. The shooter's Jeep with Texas plates was registered to Lori Vallow's ex-husband, Charles, who at the time had been dead for more than 2 months. Brandon says he didn't get a good look at the shooter, but believes he knows who it was.
He believes that Alex Cox was the person who fired that shot. He knew that Alex Cox was kind of the family hitman, and he just fairly quickly came to the conclusion that it was Alex Cox.
Around the same day Brandon was shot at, Lori was seen with an unidentified male loading a spare tire and what appears to be a vehicle seat in and out of a Rexburg storage unit. Also in October of 2019, another suspicious shooting, possibly tied to Alex Cox. 10 days before Chad's wife, Tammy, mysteriously died in her sleep, she called 911 to report that she'd been shot at in her driveway by a man wearing a mask. She thought maybe it was a paintball gun, but now authorities investigating Tammy's death aren't so sure.
It was an indication that there may have been something else going on, that maybe this might have been a first attempt to get her out of the picture, and it just didn't work.
A lot of people believe that Alex Cox, Lori's brother, is like the family hitman, the family assassin. Every time a body is found or there's a suspicious death, Alex Cox seems to be the common link to all of it, tying the story together.
12 years before Alex killed Lori's fourth husband, Charles, he served 3 months in a Texas jail for attacking Lori's third husband, Joseph Ryan. According to the police report, Alex Cox used a stun gun on Joseph Ryan and threatened to kill him while accompanying Lori during a child custody exchange. Alex would actually joke about it years later during an open mic comedy routine.
You ever had something that you knew was the right thing to do, but it turns out that later on it was a felony?
Alex Cox was a possible suspect in Charles Vallow's death, Tammy Daybell's death, the shooting of Brandon Boudreaux, and the disappearances of both Tylee and JJ. Of course, the connection between Alex Cox and all of these people was his sister Lori.
They had a very, very close relationship. When they moved to Rexburg, he was in the same apartment complex. And we know that he also believed the same sort of religious things that Lori was believing.
Then on December 12th, 2019, another 911 call. Someone else was dead.
911, where's your emergency?
Hi, I need an ambulance. I have a older male here named Alex. He just passed out.
Hey, Jinx.
On my bathroom. I think he's passed out.
Okay, you think he's unconscious?
Yes.
On the same day that investigators were exhuming the body of Tammy Daybell, Alex Cox mysteriously ended up dead. The official cause of death was a pulmonary embolism. The children were still missing, and now one of the main suspects in their disappearance was gone. Coming up, a major break.
Throughout the investigation, detectives and investigators have recovered what's believed to be human remains.
Chad Daybell under arrest after Tylee and JJ are found buried in his backyard.
They dug a little bit more around the round object, which appeared to me to be the crown of a head, protruding through the dirt.
When the Doomsday Couple, a Court TV special, returns. As spring turned to the summer of 2020 in Rexburg, Idaho, there was still no sign of the missing children, Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow. It had been 8 months since they'd last been seen. Their mother, Lori Vallow, had been in jail since February, and her new husband, Chad Daybell, was not cooperating with police. The couple's bizarre religious beliefs included the thought that the end of the world was coming very soon, within weeks.
People had two ideas. They thought either the children are gone and they're dead, or they thought that these guys are just crazy preppers and there's a bunker somewhere where these kids are being kept by friends or family.
Friends say Chad and Lori believed that not only was the end of the world coming, but when it happened in July 2020, they would be leading the 144,000 chosen ones mentioned in the Bible.
So the book of Revelation has a chapter in which it talks about how when Jesus comes back to the earth, or in anticipation of that, then there will be 12,000 elders or members from each of the 12 tribes of Israel. And so when you do 12 times 12,000, that's how you get to 144,000.
Chad and Lori also believed that evil spirits had taken over the bodies of people around them, calling them zombies. Lori even told her friend Melanie Gibb that her own children, JJ and Tylee, were zombies. According to Melanie, Tylee had overheard her mother talking about it on the phone.
What's most sad about the situation is that Tylee heard the conversation. She knew that her mother thought that she was turning into a zombie, and she actually said No, Mom, I'm not a zombie. It's not me.
That was probably one of the most heartbreaking pieces of evidence, to realize that the 16-year-old girl who has been living this life with her mother, she knows what a zombie is. She knows what it means to be overtaken by a dark spirit. She knows what her mom believes, what Chad believes, and what that may mean for her.
Then, on June 9th, almost 9 months to the day after Tylee was last seen, Rexburg police and the FBI served a search warrant on Chad Daybell's home. They'd searched the property before during the winter when the ground was frozen. Now they were back, interested specifically in the backyard.
I observed the evidence response recovery team and also cadaver dogs working the entire backyard. So they worked the pond area, and then they had marked off other areas inside the backyard.
Something stood out in the pond area on the north side of the property. Fresh sod on top of several rocks. Beneath the rocks, some paneling.
As soon as they removed the paneling, I could smell the odor of a decomposing body.
It was JJ. The 7-year-old's body was buried in Chad Daybell's backyard, wrapped in plastic and duct tape.
And then as I cut through the white plastic, that's when the, possible human hair started coming out.
Oh, man.
Hands and, and that was a point where we determined this is human remains.
Then they started digging in a pet cemetery, which Chad had talked about in this suspicious text conversation with his late wife, Tammy, on September 9th, the day after Tylee was last seen alive. I've had an interesting morning, says Chad to Tammy. I felt I should burn all the limb debris by the fire pit before it got too soaked by the coming storm. While I did so, I spotted a big raccoon along the fence. I hurried, got my gun, and he was still walking along. I got close enough that one shot did the trick. He is now in our pet cemetery. Fun times. When investigators dug up the pet cemetery, they found Tylee, dismembered and burned.
They had already dug down and located what would appear to be a mass of burnt flesh and charred bone.
Earlier that morning, before the remains were located, Chad Daybell was watching the evidence response team in his backyard when he received a call from the Madison County Jail. His wife, Lori, was calling to say hello.
Are you okay? The house right now?
Yeah.
What, are they in the house?
No, they're out in the property.
Are they seizing stuff again?
They're searching.
What an explosive phone call.
Yeah, he
Not a lot is
knows.
said and not a lot can be understood in the conversation, but what is explosive is how they're talking. You can hear the concern in Chad's voice. You can tell that he's nervous.
I love you so much.
Okay, I love you. Should I try to call you later?
I don't know. You can try, yeah.
After the phone call from Lori, Chad decided to take off. He was picked up and arrested by investigators immediately after they found the first set of remains.
Wow.
Shortly after the remains were discovered, Chad Daybell was taken into custody.
The community in eastern Idaho that had feared the worst but held out hope that the children would be found safe was heartbroken.
It's crazy to see what's actually happened and what's, kind of came out of this. And it's just so devastating, especially to the family.
Just hours after the FBI and the police released the crime scene, the Daybell property, back to the family, you could start to see spectators, community members driving up and leaving flowers, teddy bears, notes, cards. And as the hours went by, as the days and weeks went by, this memorial with photos grew almost the length of the fence line down the Daybell property.
April Raymond, Lori's good friend from Hawaii who knew the children very well, traveled to Idaho to pay her respects.
I hope that they, are held accountable, and whatever the state of Idaho feels that their punishment should be, I feel comfortable with that.
4 people that were in our family are dead.
there comes a point where you got to wake up and realize there's some either mental illness there, some evil influences there. At some point, you're going to have to come to that realization that you can't live in this pretended bubble that you believe in anymore. It's got to pop eventually, because you're not going to come out of jail. You're going to be there for the rest of your life.
For Lori and Chad, their doomsday prediction of a July end of the world has come and gone. They remain in jail awaiting trial. Their story of love, religion, and death has so many unanswered questions. Among them, why did so many people, including 2 innocent children, have to die? We may learn some answers as to why so many people had to die and who is responsible in early 2021 when Chad and Lori are scheduled to go on trial. We will be there to watch it all unfold here on Court TV. I'm Ted Rollins. Thanks for watching.
Some crazy ass shit, man. And since you're a religious man, I want to go back to this part here and I want to ask you something about it. It's something that where was it?
I'm hearing a lot of sketchy stuff. It kind of set me off a little bit, I'm not gonna lie.
Well, number one, what is LDS? What is that?
I'm not sure.
Is that
the only one I know of is it's a joke about someone not knowing what LSD is, but it could be an abbreviation for something down there.
Latter-day Saints or something?
That might be.
Is that what it?
I'm not up on all the different denominations because I'm too lazy to remember all that.
Is that a different Bible? No.
I'm not 100% sure because, like,
the Book of Revelation.
Yeah, that's the last book of the Bible.
So this is the Bible. This is the Bible that they're referring to, Church of Latter-day Saints. So is that Mormon?
It might be.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I'm not up on all the different denominations and their different beliefs. I know what I believe, and that's kind of all I care about.
Is anybody familiar with the Mormon Latter-day Saint stuff that would like to explain real quick? I guess I could Google it. This is something that caught something about the 12,000. Okay, right here, Revelation 14. The Lamb and the 144,000. So is there like a certain verse they're referring to here? Okay, right here. It highlighted it for me too. That's so cool. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed from earth. So how is that telling you it's cool to kill people? I don't understand that.
If you ask me, it's if you study the Bible enough, and you'll find that sometimes demons will actually come and try to pose as if they're angels, and like there's ways that you can identify who they actually serve, like basically asking them about if they serve Christ or not. Easiest way to, if memory serves right. But yeah, everything I'm hearing from this is just screaming Satan,
cult,
satanic, demonic possession, stuff like that. Because my understanding of like actual true demonic possession is you basically can turn into a zombie-like, or have a zombie-like existence where it's just, I mean, it's whatever that demon wants to do to you at that point. Because there's stories in the Bible. There was a kid that he would basically, anytime this demon got bored, it would run him into walls, try to throw him into rivers, try to drown him.
What?
And yeah, it somehow he was able to fight it, and I believe it was Jesus that actually removed the demon from him after he found out about it. But yeah, there's some really messed up stuff that can happen when you start dealing with demonic possessions and worshiping Satan and stuff like that. Like, I forget where it's at, but it actually says to be a Christian, you can't have any, like, you can't join cults, you can't have like secret memberships, like what's it called?
I wish I could have memberships. Sorry.
Not like YouTube, but I mean like secret organizations like the Freemasons and stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
But it's, you can't have anyone that takes a higher priority or a higher seat in your life than the good Lord.
Yeah, false god or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at this. This is a different teaching, so it's a different, or they just use the Bible but interpret it in a different way, basically.
They're taking parts of the scripture, making it fit what they want to do, and then
twisting,
claiming that it's what God told them to do. It's happened way too many times in the past, and it's something that really sets me off when I hear people trying to do it.
Yeah, I'm just kind of confused how in the hell you get to killing zombies from...
Well, the thing is, there's no such thing as a zombie.
I don't know.
The closest thing the Bible even acknowledges to zombies, towards the end of the end times, I believe it's during the millennial reign of Christ, that every true believing Christian that could potentially get into heaven will actually come back down to earth and live in Israel for 1,000 years with Christ. But this is getting into the part where I'm not up enough to where I feel confident in going into extreme detail. It's something I'm actually looking into right now in my personal time, but because I've been learning a lot about it here lately. But yeah,
let me see. Jinx says she's heard it's easy to get sucked into a cult. What's up, PK? Oh, we're not saying that all of them are like that. We're just referring to Lori Vallow and the like what we were just talking about, the manipulation to make it okay to unalive people, whatever their interpretation was.
Yeah,
because they were saying that Chad Daybell was like some sort of leader or something, right? Like I don't know what the word would be.
I mean, they said religious leader. I would assume that would be like a pastor.
Yeah, like I was gonna say pastor, but I didn't know if that's what they would be called. I don't know. I'm not familiar with it.
It depends on what religion you're talking about. Like most denominations of Christianity, it's a pastor. What is it? Shoot, I just lost the... Like Catholics, they call them priests, or the Pope is the leader of all the priests, and then you have different tiers of, or levels of, I think it's clergy. But I mean, part of me gets kind of weirded out by that, because it's like, you mean to tell me that if the Pope is doing something not right, that he still has full control over everything? Like, and again, I don't know enough about it. I don't know if there's checks and balances on that. I hope there are.
Either.
But I mean, I'm not one to sit here and ever tell anybody they're wrong or hate on them for their religious beliefs, because what you choose to believe is your business. I just want to sit here. I don't mind having an intelligent conversation or even an argument over it. But at the end of the day, I want to walk away as friends.
Right.
Because I'm not saying you're right or wrong. It's just I don't understand.
Right.
So.
Exactly. I mean, that's the best way to put it, man.
Yeah. I mean, I've gotten into full-blown yelling arguments with people over religious beliefs and walked away. And this actually happened at several jobs. Came in the next day and we were cool as could be. I mean, we knew that, we knew where each other stood and we respected each other about it. So it was like, okay, cool. I can live with this. So.
Yeah, because, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, just like you shouldn't
Exactly.
tell me
I
how
mean,
to live mine.
If anybody ever has questions about Christianity,
like I'm doing right now, I'm disagreeing with how Lori Vallow.
Right. I mean, and that's one of those, like for me personally, I don't like to bash people over the head with my beliefs. But if anybody ever has a question and asks me about it, whether it's on here, through Facebook, heck, I've got a business phone number on my Facebook page. I'm willing to talk about it. I don't care. But I don't like the...
Yeah,
yeah, I believe that if you don't believe in Christ, you're damned to hell. But at the same time, I'm trying to think of a somewhat polite way of putting that.
The best way to put it is I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, just like you shouldn't tell me how to live mine, and we should be able to coexist and be friends.
Exactly.
I mean, it's as simple as that.
Thank you, because that's exactly what I was trying to get out. But
why should I be the one to tell someone else how to live their life when I have to live mine?
Yeah.
And why should somebody else? You know what I'm saying? Vice versa. So,
right. I mean, my thing is, we're all humans. We're all flawed. Yeah, I might be better at one part or in one aspect of life, but I guarantee you in another, I have a lot more issues than you do, and vice versa. That's why, I try to treat everybody with respect, because I know, yeah, I might be better here or there, but they're going to be better somewhere else. Just like, I mean, we all have our strengths and weaknesses.
So this is a link that SRB sent me. This is a timeline, the latest timeline of events in the Vallow Daybell murder case. So I want to thank SRB for the link. I appreciate that. I put it in chat, so if you'd like to save it as a favorite on your browser. This basically has every detail. It's crazy. Very informative article. It goes through everything. It gives you dates. It gives you links. It gives you videos. The amount of information you can get off this is just astounding. So thank you again, SRB. I appreciate your help so very, very much. Amazing link. But basically, we got to watch the Court TV East Idaho News Special. And this is going to really come in handy when we're going through this case, because it's pretty much, I think, the best kind of rundown that you can get on everything. Dates, years, details, and links. So thank you again. Let me see here. I got some other videos that we're going to check out. These are some of the updates that have came out here recently. Yeah, Pam, if you'd like to hop up, let me know. And if anybody else would like to say anything on this case, you're more than welcome to join the panel as well. Oops, I clicked the wrong folder. Hold on. Okay, now this is this is kind of a lengthy one. Let me see here. Showing no emotion. Chad Daybell. Now this is an interesting video I thought came up. Chad Daybell exploited Lori Vallow's religiousness. Now, as I was kind of doing some checking out on this case, because I don't know very much. I'm learning it, probably as much as you are, Kevin. Just a little bit more I have. But I came away with the impression that she seemed to be very religious, I suppose, to an extreme. And as I started to check this story out, or this case, I wondered that myself. Did this gentleman, because, he claimed that to her that they were married in past lives and they were destined to be together. And so I'm wondering if he, because he's around, he noticed areas that he could exploit and use that to his advantage. And so I'm wondering if that, with her being really religious, I don't know if she was claiming zombies and all this other shit before she met him. I think it was after she met him she started talking zombies and shit. So maybe she really was like really, really religious before that.
And it could be that he knew enough about the Bible to be able to convince her that he was somebody she could rely on for that kind of thing. Then she fell in love with him, and he slowly manipulated her.
That's what I was thinking.
So many possibilities with that.
I mean, I was kind of thinking that because he's around these people all the time, so he's gonna notice the snake that he is alleged to be. Well, then I'd imagine that he was probably using all these other people as homework until he found the lady that he was actually going to exploit. So I thought it was an interesting video that came across the feed. So we'll check this one out real quick. It's just a 4-minute video. And if anybody would like to come up, let me know. Well, where's the sound?
Stand by a second. I'd like to bring in Rick Allen Ross, who's the founder of the Cult Education Institute. I'm curious, Rick, have you ever heard of this particular cult? How common are these doomsday cults?
Well, they're very common, Elizabeth, and the grandparents contacted me early on. They were very confused. They could not understand what Lori Vallow was doing, why she was doing it, and the power that Chad Daybell had over her. So it was this kind of group is quite common. And they use doomsday predictions to essentially leverage control, to make the people that are following them feel that it is urgent and the only place of safety is with them. And they become more dependent upon the leader to make value judgments for them, to make choices for them. And I think that's what happened to Lori Vallow. I think that Chad Daybell exploited her religiousness and pulled her in with his books and his sermons. And of course, he being a Mormon himself and a graduate of BYU, you could see it almost as affinity fraud.
Right.
Thanks,
I was
buddy.
going to
Appreciate
ask
it.
you about that, the whole Chad Daybell, who was the leader of this cult. I believe it was called the Preparing a People cult, believed and told his followers that the world was going to end on July 22nd of 2020. And you say they use that prediction as a way to maneuver and force people to really just do anything and everything because time is almost out and you want to be on the saving side of when the doomsday comes?
Exactly. I mean, for example, David Koresh, the leader of the Waco Davidians, he would make several doomsday predictions. This would bring people into the compound because he would say, this is the place of safety. Exactly identical. Chad Daybell said the place of safety was Idaho, and he was pulling people up to Rexburg. It was a small group, but he was growing it. And this was what he conceived. And a lot of it was funded essentially by the insurance proceeds from the deaths of people that were related to the people that followed Chad Daybell.
How often, Rick, do cults like this commit violent crimes like murder?
Well, no, that is not frequent. I mean, it's very rare that a group will do this. But in my view, Chad Daybell, his wife became to him an obstacle. She was not that enthusiastic about his books and his career. And so he benefited from $500,000 from her life insurance policy. Lori Vallow's husband, Charles Vallow, had $1 million insurance policy that she didn't realize would not go to her, I think. And then, of course, her brother, Alex Cox, who later died, killed her husband, Charles Vallow. So there were a number of deaths. There was also another husband of a woman who became involved in this group, who they almost killed. He also had an insurance policy.
Wow. Brian, very quickly, Chad Daybell is also accused of these 3 murders. What are the chances that they're going to turn on each other? Are both of them presenting thus far a united front, even though they will be tried separately? Or is there any chance that one might testify against the other?
There is a chance of that. That's what we're waiting to see, Elizabeth. That's what was so interesting when they separated the trials. We didn't initially think they would be separate. Well, now they are separate. Is Lori going to turn on Chad? It's interesting. Chad Daybell's lawyer has been sitting inside the courthouse watching the jury selection process and plans to watch the entire trial. So clearly he's going to have an advantage here because he's going to watch how everything plays out with Lori's trial, and then his trial comes up next.
All right, Brian Enton, Rick Allen Ross, thank you both so much. Rick, I'm sure we'll call upon you again with your...
All right, you guys are talking about opening statements now. What part of the opening statement? Because I have the full video of the opening statements, but it's like 4 or 5 hours long. This is a trial observer. Let me click on this. Is it the very beginning of the defense's opening statements?
What they hear first, what they hear last. 2 biggest moments in the trial. And we had the first one in the Doomsday Mom case, Lori Vallow, her murder trial, opening statements today. Remember, Vallow and her husband, Chad Daybell, face first-degree murder charges for allegedly carrying out a doomsday plot, killing her 2 children and his ex-wife. No cameras. That's okay. Defense attorney, author Lori Hillis, inside, front row seat. She's joined by the dynamic duo, defense attorney Mark Aragos, Florida State Attorney Dave Arenberg. Good to have you both. Lori, I start with you. I like that you're giving this insight to us. What are the high points that people need to know?
Well, the prosecution did a pretty good job in opening, not bang up kind of a presentation, but very adequate. The defense was a little bit lackluster. It was a little unfortunate, I thought.
What?
They didn't put a lot of effort into telling their story. It was a lot of, gosh, we're really sorry that we're using the taxpayers' money.
What?
So it was a little disappointing.
What?
One of those. We got to do what we got to do.
Is that true?
What did you make of the
defendant? Is that how you felt?
She was quite still. She spent a lot of time making notes, made a few comments to her attorneys, but for the most part was fairly still. She's in a chair that swivels, so I did notice when it looked like there was some emotional content, she was sort of swiveling her chair back and forth a bit. She did nod a couple of times when her her former sister-in-law, Kay Woodcock, was talking about how close they had been when they first met. So,
any tears?
Not from Lori, no.
Even when they were talking about how her kids were dug up out of the backyard?
Nope, not even when autopsy photos came up.
What?
What'd you make of that?
She's been pretty stoic through all of it. There were some autopsy photos that were shown, and she didn't seem to have much reaction to it. But as a defense attorney, I think you spend some time sort of working with your client and, for lack of a better word, sort of inoculating them against those kinds of reactions. And so I think she was fairly practiced. She'd seen those images before, and it wasn't a shock to her.
Whoa.
Well, certainly shouldn't be a shock, that's for sure. Dave, we also learned today, Lori points out, that this is the first time we ever heard that Daybell's wife, we've always been told, oh, she was sick. They say she died from asphyxiation on the prosecution side. What was your takeaway?
Yeah, this is the first time we heard about that. It actually took me to the death of Lori's brother, who they're, I'm sure, going to point at as the real perpetrator here, because he's not here to defend himself, because he died too. They thought he died of natural causes, just like they thought she died of natural causes. So that makes me think maybe there's another murder here. It also makes me wonder, at what point did they realize? I guess they had to dig up the body to realize she was asphyxiated, because there was a trail of bodies here, and it took how long for law enforcement to put it together to say, hey, maybe there's a problem here. So a lot of lost opportunities here, and at least maybe there'll be justice done for her.
Wow.
Are you surprised, Counsel Garagos, that the defense hasn't come up with a more creative way to explain this, at least out of the box?
I am, unless they're laying in wait. I mean, to Dave's point here, you have to wonder who is the coroner in this place that he thinks everybody's dying naturally, and then after the fact he's rejiggering it so that he comes up the sides.
That was a court observer, Cherry.
Or alternative explanations. I have always believed, and I think I've told you this before, Chris, that the cases are won or lost in jury selection. What you do in the opening is lay it out so that they understand where they're headed. What you do in closing is give them the arguments so whoever's with you from the beginning at least will be able to convince those who are on the fence. So when somebody's lackluster and doesn't seem to really have it together, so to speak, in a coherent way in the opening, it always gives me pause. That's usually lackluster openings are usually reserved for the prosecution.
Lori, last word to you. What was the biggest takeaway for you?
One of the most surprising things was the information that Tylee Ryan, Lori's daughter, her blood was found on tools in Chad Daybell's shed, on a shovel and a pickaxe. We hadn't heard that information before, so that was interesting.
Whoa, hold on, what?
One of the most surprising things was the information that Tylee Ryan, Lori's daughter, her blood was found on tools in Chad Daybell's shed.
Wow.
On a shovel and a pickaxe. We hadn't heard that information before, so that was interesting.
Hey, thank you.
Jesus. They've... used a frickin' pickaxe?
Sounds kind of Old Testament to me.
And she didn't frickin' have any emotion towards the autopsy or the photos. What do you mean? What do you mean?
Oh man, I was just making
Old Testament. What does that mean? What do you mean?
That's what they used to. Very brutal. Very like if we're putting you to death, it's not going to be pleasant, and it's going to be permanent.
Well, she was dismembered. Yeah. Grizz said he's just going to be watching, doing some pictures or something. Man. So if there's these are the ones that I have when it comes to opening statements. I have Court TV. I have Law and Crime Network, KTVB, Fox 10 Phoenix. Let me know. No, it's these ones right here. KTVB, Court TV, or Law and Crime Network. If you have either of those and you know the timestamp of the opening statements that you would like me to check out when it came to the defense, just throw the timestamp at me, which one you want me to go to, and we'll get to that one. Thank you for the sub, Crimezilla. I appreciate it. Thanks for hopping in here. I'm going to go to a video. Now I just got this one. This is Rexburg detective details finding the bodies of the children. Yeah, it sounded like when they had that phone call between him and her, and he was like, they're searching the property. You mean they're coming to take stuff? No. The property. They're searching. He knew then. So I wonder, does anybody know this? How far away was he when they arrested him? Like, how quick? I didn't know that you could dip out on your own house when you got investigators in the backyard. I didn't know that. I didn't know you could do that. But I guess you could, right? You're not held, quote, right? So he could have.
No, nobody was watching him, and he just left. I mean,
but is he legal? Was that legal?
I don't know.
Is legal, right?
I think it would depend on how they approached you. Like if they said, "Hey, we need you to stay here. We have a search warrant." Blah blah blah. If they legally detain you and you leave, then technically you could be hit with resisting arrest and stuff like that. But if they just come up, hey, we need to search your property, and they just go and do their thing, and no one's watching you, now I would assume you could leave. But I think most people in their right mind wouldn't want to, because it's like, what's going on?
They probably just tail him because he's not under arrest.
Yeah.
So he's technically not under arrest.
They could still if I would think if somebody was there and they were going to search their property, that they'd be put in handcuffs and held, because then technically you're detained while they're searching your property. That way they don't got to worry about you coming up behind them and doing something stupid or trying to hide stuff. I mean,
so did they have a search warrant?
I don't know.
Does anybody know if they had a search warrant? Sorry.
I mean, if they didn't, all he has to do is say, "I don't want you on my property," and legally they can't do anything until they get a warrant. So
you could leave if you want. I'm watching people looking around. What? What the fuck?
What? What I missed?
I don't know. Cherry said she's watching people looking around her home. What? Let me see here. Yeah, PK, you listen to Fox 10. If you have a timestamp and want to let me know, I can get to that. Just give me a timestamp if you got one. Okay, so this is the detectives, KTVB, with the details of finding the bodies.
Now to the latest on the Lori Vallow trial. It took a surprising turn today when the mom accused of killing her 2 children asked to be excused from the courtroom. The request came amid graphic testimony about the day the victims' bodies were found. Tonight, we have team coverage. Our Morgan Romero spoke to a local criminal defense attorney about Vallow's request and how unusual it was. But we begin with Shira Matsuzawa, who was in the courtroom as that tough testimony today played out.
It was an extremely emotional day in court today. Not only did we hear graphic details of what happened, we also saw photos. And this morning, we were there as Larry Woodcock, JJ's grandfather, arrived at court.
It's going to be a hard day, I think. But, we will see. We're all ready for it.
As just heard, Larry was already preparing himself for what he was about to hear today, and rightfully so. Rexburg Police Detective Ray Hermosillo took the stand. He talked about working with Gilbert Police in this case in Arizona. From there, he was searched for the kids in Rexburg. He also went to Hawaii after Rexburg Police tracked Lori and Chad there. But perhaps one of the toughest parts of his testimony came as he talked about serving a search warrant at Chad Daybell's house on June 9th, 2020. Hermosillo went into excruciating detail about the state in which JJ and Tylee were found on that day nearly 3 years ago, as their remains were found on Vallow's husband, Chad Daybell's property in Rexburg. And for the sake of this broadcast, we are not going into as much detail, but you can read more about it at ktvb.com. Today, the prosecution showed photos of the property and the children's remains as Hermosillo explained what led up to that discovery. And one of the most difficult moments in today's testimony happened when the prosecution showed photos of JJ's autopsy. Another big moment in today's trial, Vallow's attorneys asked if Vallow would be excused or could be excused from today's proceedings. They cited her fragile state of mind and mental health, but the judge denied her request. He said, quote, her presence can and should be required to ensure her due process rights and a fair trial.
Right.
Our Alexandra Duggan was inside the courtroom when those photos were shown. She says Larry Woodcock, JJ's grandfather, was hunched over and in tears. In Boise at the Ada County Courthouse, Shira Matt.
I do have a couple of his interviews too with the local news station. So this, since you're bringing it up, this is them talking about it right here. I'll go to who is this? Elizabeth Vargas. We'll check her out. We don't see her on News Nation too much. I'll go ahead and check that one out. This is about the judge denying the request.
There are graphic new details tonight in the Lori Vallow murder trial taking place in Ohio. The lead detective in the case took the stand today and outlined his investigation in its entirety.
She said Ohio.
Vallow is the doomsday cult mom who police say murdered her 2 youngest children after reportedly believing they were possessed. The Rexburg police detective gave a chilling account of when he first questioned Vallow, her husband Chad Daybell, and her brother Alex, all of whom lied to him and told him the children were safe. He told jurors that after police broke down Vallow's door in Idaho, they tracked her phone to Hawaii, where they then found Vallow and her new husband, Chad Daybell. Months later, the detective said he then helped unearth the children's bodies who were buried on Daybell's Idaho property. The detective gave graphic and disturbing testimony. Reporters inside the courtroom say Lori Vallow showed no emotion until after recess, when she was visibly upset and waived her right to be present for the remainder of the day. The judge denied her request and insisted she stay. Joining us now is former homicide prosecutor Matt Murphy and a criminal defense attorney, Sarah Azari, who is also a News Nation legal contributor. Good to have you both here tonight. Matt, let's start with that move from Lori Vallow to be excused from trial. Very unusual?
Very unusual. And the judge did exactly the right thing. He shot that down immediately and said, essentially, your right to a fair trial is secured by your presence in the courtroom. The prosecution objected to her doing that as well.
Why would she make this move? They had showed the photos already in the morning of the children's bodies being dug up. I mean, she'd already seen the photos, in other words.
If I had to read the tea leaves here, I think that somebody got back to her and said, you're showing no emotion with these horrific photos. And I think she tried to overcompensate by claiming that she couldn't stand to see them in the afternoon. So her absence would be very dramatic, and it would be almost it could have been a tactical ploy by her. And remember, this woman, according to police, is very manipulative.
Sarah, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think to Matt's point, Idaho law, surprisingly, we don't have that in California where Matt and I practice, but Idaho law allows a defendant to skip parts of her trial if a specific process is followed. And I think the issue
What?
was that she didn't follow that protocol. So
Thank you,
obviously it was
PK.
shot down. And also that emotional breakdown, Elizabeth, it was not in the presence of the jury. So the jury didn't see it. All the jury knows is that she's stoic and stone-faced, especially for a mom who didn't do it. One would expect some more emotion from her, or some emotion from her. To me, it also concerns me about her mental competence, because twice before she's been declared incompetent. So I'm not sure if that's something that's going to become an issue.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your...
Okay, now we're going to go to the opening statements, and then I'll go to Larry Woodcock's interview with East Idaho News after the opening statements. Let me see here. Fox 10. Whoops, where'd it go? Full audio, this one right here, PK. A day ago, full audio of opening statements. Just let me know this is the one. April 10th. Yep, okay. So I need to go to the defense opening statements. Thank you for the timestamps again. I appreciate that. 1 hour and 11 minutes. And I'll put the link to this in chat so you guys can have this as well.
Thank you, Mr. Archibald. You can present your opening now.
Ooh, right on the money. Let me zoom this up.
Like the state of Idaho, I also thank you for your service. This is a difficult case we have not been able to settle without you. That's why you've been called here to help us settle this case. If the court will allow a brief introduction, I know a lot about you with your 12-page or 20-page questionnaires. So I'd like to just make a brief introduction of the defense. I've been an attorney since 1991. I've been both a private attorney and a public defender. And in small county Idaho, there's a lot of us lawyers who do both public defense work and private work. And so over the past 32 years, I've done a bit of both. I've been assigned to 27 murder cases over the course of my career, and they're difficult. They're difficult cases. I was assigned to this case. I'm paid by the taxpayers, and so thank you for paying your taxes.
What's up, Ava?
I've had a general practice where I do a little bit of everything, and then I get about one of these difficult cases a year assigned to me, and
we're 3 minutes in. This is 3 minutes.
What does a defense lawyer do?
Now you lost the jury's fucking attention, right?
Constitutional rights are protected. We make sure that the government.
I'm thinking about what I'm going to eat for supper now.
Make sure that proof beyond a reasonable doubt is in place before there's a decision.
Cheeseburger macaroni sounds good.
So with these difficult cases, we resolve 99% of our cases. Less than 1% of cases
garlic bread
trial. And so I believe the state and the defense, we generally do a good job of resolving our disputes. And sometimes when we can't, then we call on you to resolve it for us. I'm being assisted in this case by John Thomas. He's a been an attorney since 1999. He has also both experience in private law firms and public defenders' offices, where he's handled many serious cases.
That's a perfect
received
comment,
many
Kel.
accolades for his lawyering, and I appreciate him helping me.
4 minutes in.
I also am being assisted by Brandon Hobbs. You've probably seen him, and he's an investigator, and so he's helped us investigate this case. Being a defense lawyer isn't always a popular job, so I appreciate you being respectful towards me, and I'll do the same. I'll be respectful.
Is he nervous? Is it because he's nervous?
8 years ago, my law office got bombed, and so some people are really upset by what I do for a living, and so I appreciate
What do you?
And your ability to decide the facts of this case without emotion overriding your decision. So this case,
hold on.
Lori Vallow.
Hold on. Wow, it took 5 minutes to get to what the case was about. Thank you. What did he just say?
Was he paid
Hold
by
on
the
a minute.
word? Seriously, was he paid by the word?
He's got to be, right? Like Kelt said, my wife enjoys cross stitching. Like, but he said something right here at the end. I gotta catch this again.
Let's investigate this case. Being a defense lawyer isn't always a popular job, so I appreciate you.
Brings
being
up 8 years
respectful
ago.
towards me,
Something that
and
happened 8 years
I'll
ago
do the
that
same.
doesn't
I'll
have
be
anything to
respectful
do with this
towards
case.
you.
These people don't.
Some 8 years ago, my law office got bombed, and so some people are really upset by what I do for a living, and so I appreciate you and your ability to decide the facts of this case without emotion overriding your decision.
Your
So this case
emotion
is about.
Hold on. Your emotions overriding your decision? What? See, he keeps losing me. He keeps fucking losing me. I keep thinking about cheeseburger macaroni.
Let's investigate this case. Being a defense lawyer isn't always a popular job, so I appreciate you being respectful towards me, and I'll do the same. I'll be respectful towards you. Some 8 years ago, my law office got bombed, and so some people are really upset by what I do for a living, and so I appreciate you and your ability to decide the facts of this case without emotion overriding your decision.
He appreciates the fact that they'll be able to look at this case without emotion overriding the decision. So yeah, don't be human when you're sitting there listening to this trial. I don't understand that. Does that, I don't know, is it just me? Does it make sense to you? Does it make sense to you? I mean,
So, to me, it sounds like he's saying, don't let your emotions control what you think about happened. Let the facts control, or let the facts be your decision, or you're deciding
isn't
facts.
that why you're on a jury?
Yeah, but
Because you're going off of facts?
Right, but you could be so much more succinct than what he's doing.
I just don't understand.
I keep getting distracted with everybody talking about food too, because I'm starving right now. So it just makes it that much harder for me to focus.
I mean, to me, it's like the first 5 minutes of what I heard. To me, it sounds like dude's like, you know what? I know we're gonna lose the case. We're from a small firm. We're from a small community. We don't really handle these cases. and we're still in shock. And thank you for not coming in with a predetermination of what took place and letting that override.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just freaking odd to me. Do you think the jury's questionnaire asked, do you believe in zombies? That's a good question. A real good question. Really. A serious question. It is.
It is.
Yeah.
But...
It is. It's a good question. What's up, Kib Kitty?
Oh my God.
Hey,
This
I'm not
is
alone.
a bunch of bullshit
5 minutes of talking. And
about himself and his partners.
were you watching the trial? This part?
No.
No?
No, it isn't. It isn't televised.
Just the audio?
I haven't been watching it. I've been watching the Stalk trial, Letitia.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to cover that probably this weekend. Maybe I'll do it like Sunday afternoon. I'll cover that case Sunday afternoon. Just do a little 2.5 hour show on it.
Yeah, she's so infuriating. So's Lori Daybell. Lori Vallow, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't know. It sounds to me like the defense is, I don't know. If this is how they
don't have a chance in hell.
I mean, if it takes you 5 minutes of saying all that shit to get to the point, I can't imagine what it's going to be like when you're trying to introduce, because I imagine she's probably going to blame everything on her bro that has passed because he can't.
He can't defend himself. So.
Right. So, I don't know. It's just.
This sounds like it's going to be a real crap show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was the first day, and she was already trying to pull some shit to not be there.
Yep. She was.
Yeah. Yeah, Ava.
She's a piece of shit.
Huh. Thank you, Grizz.
Hi, Kevin, by the way.
Hi, Kitty.
I think you have to make.
This is killing me.
I appreciate that.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to sort through pen blanks and not make a ton of noise?
No clue, man. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start playing this. Now he's going to start talking about the defense. PK, is there a certain amount of time that you want me to check out on this opening statement when he gets to it? Right now, we're at 1 hour and 15 minutes.
So this case is about Lori Vallow Daybell. The prosecutor has just told you what the government hopes to prove throughout the next month. So what's this story about from our defense perspective, and how does this story include you? So the evidence will show that Lori was born and raised in California. She's lived in California, Texas, Arizona, and Hawaii. She lived in Idaho for less than a month before the event of what you're here to decide. She's one of 6 children. Her parents are still alive. They're retired. She's had an older sister and a brother die, and she also has a sister and a brother still living. She believes in life after death, and she believes she will see her deceased family, including her children, again. She's a beautician by trade. She's worked hard for years in that profession. She's a mother of 3, stepmother of 2, and is now a grandmother of 2 children. The evidence will show
Okay, that's a good
that
idea,
people
Ava.
were attracted to her, as the state has told you,
1.25,
been
please.
attracted to her for
There
her
we go.
smile, her vivacious personality,
Good
her
call.
fun-loving, happy-go-lucky
Good call, Ava.
personality. People wanted to be around her. Her oldest son is Colby Ryan. He was born in 1996 in Texas.
I'm lost again.
He's a handsome young man. Currently lives in Arizona. He has 2 children of his own.
Thank you, Angela. I appreciate your support.
Her oldest daughter, Tylee Ryan, was born in 2002 in Texas. She was a ray of sunshine. She had health problems, pancreatitis, painful and debilitating disease, but Tylee did the best she could. Her marriage to Joe Ryan ended, and a painful, long, drawn-out custody battle ensued. It was hard on all of them. The evidence will show that her next husband, Charles Vallow, was smitten with her, and she with him. He had 2 kids, she had 2 kids, and the blended family lasted over a decade. Lori was such a good, responsible mother to her 2 children that her husband's sister, Kay Woodcock, wanted her to adopt a special needs toddler newborn. Kay Woodcock was the grandma to a child born in Louisiana in 2012. A child with special needs. The child's parents couldn't take care of him because of their own personal problems. Apparently, Kay Woodcock couldn't take care of him either. So she asked her brother, Charles, and his wife, Lori, if they would adopt him, and they agreed. So the child born in Louisiana by a child known as J.J. Vallow, Lori's 3rd child. The evidence will show that Lori was a dutiful wife to Charles Vallow. They both worked hard, he at the office and she at home. She was a kind and loving mother to her children. The evidence will show she had a particular interest in religion in the end of times. You'll recognize the quote-unquote end of times as something spoken of in the Holy Bible, the New Testament. Most of you will understand when I say that. Some people could care less about biblical prophecies. Some people care a lot about it. Thankfully, in this country, we get to worship how we choose. The evidence will show that once Lori and her friends met Chad Daybell, an author on religious subjects, her beliefs began to morph and to change. And that's where you come into this story, because the story is done.
I think you're muted, dude.
Yeah, I was muted. My bad. Is the defense about to say that she was manipulated by Chad Daybell when she met him, and that her brother was the one that committed these crimes, and so therefore she has no involvement in any of this and she's not guilty? Because that's what it sounds like they're about to say. I mean, it's hard to listen to this. Like, I'll probably have to listen to this a few times and try and not get lost and shit, because it's hard to... You just had to be there in order to... I don't know. This audio only sucks.
Yeah.
And his droning don't help.
Even speeding it up. Thank you for the idea, Ava. I appreciate that. It just seems to me like, I imagine they're just going to blame it on Chad and Alex. Do you think they have a good defense? Like, not that she didn't commit this shit, but do you think that they might be able to twist it in a certain way where, you know,
I think they're gonna try and blame Alex all the way.
both of them? Is that why you think his attorney's been showing up at the trial, because he wants to see firsthand what she's doing with her attorneys, so then he can, because his trial doesn't start until after this one, right?
No, it doesn't start till after this.
So he's coming in trying to get some pointers.
Pointers or information or
notes.
Yep.
Ooh. This part of the story, I could tell the jury could believe this or see doubt. This one, no, it didn't work out too good. That way you can go back home and kind of, and then twist it around and then point it on her. You know, hey, this was some chick that I was in love with. I didn't know what was going on. Whatever she had dealings with her brother, whatever they did behind the scenes, I didn't even know the bodies were on my property. You know, I don't know nothing. You know, I'm sure the attorney's chilling there taking a whole bunch of notes, sitting there looking at, you know, like what story might work, what story didn't work, you know. I don't know. Why would they be there? Why else would they be there? It's like an opposing football team having some scout show up and taking notes at your practices and shit to see what plays you run good and what plays you don't run good. So then when you go play the game, we already know what plays you run good and what plays you don't. We'll use it to our advantage. Same kind of situation. Other than that, I don't know what else would it be.
It'll be interesting to see if Chad tries to blame Alex for his wife's death. Do you hear me?
No, I didn't. What? Sorry, I'm trying to go through chat. Go ahead. I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I said it'd be interesting to see if Chad tries to blame his wife's asphyxiation death on Alex also.
But how would have... So she passed at home during the night, right?
I'm not sure what time she passed.
Say if it happened at night. I had a family member that had sleep apnea. He died from, or they ruled it as a asphyxiation-related heart attack. So there might be something medical there too.
No, this is Fox 10 Phoenix is what the one that I'm watching. Murder 1 might be a stretch. What, Skittles? We always chat. What are you talking about? I don't know how they couldn't get her fingers crossed. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. Oh, that's how you... I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, we have a lot of interaction. So it's Fox 10 Phoenix. and I'll go ahead and go back and listen to a little bit more of it. We won't use the whole night to get into this. I still have a couple other things I want to listen to here real quick before I end the show. Just a couple other updates. So I'll just listen to a few more minutes of this. I'll put the link to this video in chat again as well. So if any of you would like to listen to this, it's 4 hours and 21 minutes.
So we haven't been able to agree on what happened, and we need you to decide it. So what happened? How did these children die? Who was involved? When did it happen? Where did it happen? Why? Why did it happen? The judge has read to you the allegations, the charges. And they were read to you 2 weeks ago when you showed up to fill out your questionnaire. They were read again today. And I'm going to read parts of them again because I think it's important to see what she's charged with. You don't have to write these down, by the way. The jury instructions will be with you in the jury room. Some of you are really good note takers, and some of you will let others take notes. But you don't need to memorize what I'm telling you because these will be printed out and handed to you in the jury room. So the charge of conspiracy: Chad, Lori, Alex, deceased. Other co-conspirators, both known and unknown. So Chad Daybell is not on trial here. Alex Cox is not on trial here. He's deceased. Other co-conspirators, I don't know much about that, both known and unknown. So again, your focus will be on the actions of Lori, not on Chad, not on Alex, not on co-conspirators, both known and unknown. So that's the conspiracy. I think first-degree murder, the allegations contained in the charge that the judge read to you was Lori Vallow concerned in the commission of first-degree murder. Did she aid and abet? Did she assist somehow? Or the language of the charge says, or not being present. Did she advise and encourage it to happen? Or by command, compelled another? So this charge is, did she kill? Or did she assist? Or did she encourage? Or did she command? So in other words, this charge is saying they're not sure what happened, yet they want you to be sure.
Oh,
Same.
That was clever. I thought that was pretty clever right there. 123.
In other words, this charge is saying they're not sure what happened, yet they want you to be sure.
Wow, that's powerful right there. The charge is saying they're not sure what happened, but they want you to be sure.
That's interesting.
The brother's testimony was heart-wrenching.
Oh, that's for Letitia's trial.
Oh, I bet. Oh, Letitia.
Oh my God, it was so sad.
Sorry, I thought
So
you were
sad.
talking about
Sorry.
Lori Vallow. No, it's cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. No, seriously, that's a good, like, this whole thing's been boring as shit, but that is like when he comes to like explaining what the charge is and then ends it that way. Wow.
Or the language of the charge says, important to see what she's charged with. You don't have to write these down, by the way. The jury instructions will be with you in the jury room. Some of you are really good note takers, and some of you will let others take notes. But you don't need to memorize what I'm telling you.
He's already telling him you don't need to fill your head with.
Hand it to you in the jury room. So
Wow.
the charge of conspiracy: Chad, Lori, Alex, deceased. Other co-conspirators, both known and unknown. So Chad Daybell is not on trial here. Alex Cox is not on trial here. He's deceased.
This is a pretty good.
Other co-conspirators, I don't know much about that, both known and unknown. So again, your focus will be on the actions of Lori, not on Chad, not on Alex, not on co-conspirators, both known and unknown.
Letting them
So
know.
that's the conspiracy.
These are chess
First
moves
degree
right
murder.
here.
The allegations contained in the charge that the judge read to you.
He just
was
keeps
Lori
moving his
Vallow
pieces.
concerned in the commission of first-degree murder. Did she aid and abet? Did she assist somehow? Or the language of the charge says,
4 different things.
or not being present. Did she advise and encourage it to happen? Or by command, compelled another. So this charge is: did she kill? Or did she assist? Or did she encourage? Or did she command? So in other words, this charge is saying they're not sure what happened, but yet they want you to be sure.
Yep.
The same with count 3 and count 4 with JJ.
Wow.
Count 5 with Tammy.
Wow.
Did she combine or conspire to commit murder? Did she do the murder? Or did she talk about it? Or did she do something about it? Or did she do an act in furtherance of it? So that's the challenge here for you, is you're going to be given all these alternatives, and you're going to have to be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt. I didn't make up the definition for reasonable doubt, neither did the judge, neither did the prosecutors, but that's our law. He read it to you 2 weeks ago and again this morning, and here it is. Under our law and system of justice, every defendant is presumed to be innocent. This means 2 things. First, the state has the burden of proving the defendant guilty. The state has that burden throughout the trial. The defendant is never required to prove her innocence, nor does the defendant ever have to produce any evidence at all. The state must prove the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. A reasonable doubt is not mere possible or imaginary doubt. It is a doubt based on...
Wow. I don't know, man. At first, it sounded like, it'd be like a boxer just running around the outside of the ring the whole time, and then all of a sudden he just went poo 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 poo. Holy crap. That's my opinion, though. I don't know. I saw a lot of you think that it was kind of I'm shocked. Given all those reasons, according to the definition of her charges, not only to one, but all. I don't know. It sounded pretty powerful to me. But I only listened to 15 minutes of it, so. Would have followed Laura's. Yeah, that's a weird situation right there. The whole relationship between the two. I think they're going to put on a case. I mean, to me, it sounds like they're going to put on a case. Or a plea deal. A plea deal of way lesser. But I don't know if that'll be happening. Well, we appreciate you too. Bomb said. Well, I mean, that was the beginning of it. Like, it was kind of like, "Ugh," and I kept losing it. But man, that little part, I was like, ooh, let me check that out real quick. And then when I kind of re-listened to it, I was like, holy crap, it's powerful. I know if I was sitting in the jury chair and I'm sitting there listening into this dude talk, and then I'm thinking about cheeseburger, and all of a sudden he says that, just like I did on the show. I'm like, whoa, huh? Except I got to rewind. I don't know. That seems pretty powerful. We were talking about Tammy Daybell and that whole case. Now, this video came out yesterday, and this talks about Tammy Daybell's cause of death. I will put the link to that 4-hour and something opening statements video if you'd like to check out the rest. I got done watching it at 124.50. So if you'd like to hear the rest from that part, you just go to 124.50 and you can hear the rest. So I do want to check out this. It says prosecutors reveal Tammy Daybell's cause of death from yesterday.
Joining us outside the courthouse
Holy
is Court
crap.
TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson. Matt, you people there were able to watch the openings. We read about them from Emanuela's notes out of the courtroom, and just reading it is fascinating, and it's a lot of what we expected, and we got a little feel for the defense. Let's start with the openings from the state of Idaho.
That's right. Good afternoon, Ted. So Emanuela is our field producer in that courtroom, Neckley Painter, our other correspondent, as we're giving you this team coverage throughout the day, hour on the hour. So I can tell you from the overflow room, because I'm able to step out and do these reports for you.
Thank you, Kel.
In the overflow room, we can see defendant Lori Vallow Daybell. She is in a white shirt with a black blazer over it. She tilts her as she listens to the state paint a picture that she was influenced by money, greed, and she conspired to kill Tammy Daybell and her 2 children. This is one of the powerful statements that prosecutors led off with this morning, saying, quote, money, power, and sex, that's what this case is about. It didn't matter what obstacles she had to remove to get what she wanted. They went on to say this, also very impactful. You may hear that the defendant started telling people about a rating system of light and dark. She said that with the help of Chad, she could rate people as light or dark. A person could be so dark and a spirit so evil they would become a zombie. And you can't cast a zombie out, but a common theme as the body had to be destroyed. We are going to hear more about that theme and how she felt that the people that the state says that they killed, her 2 kids became zombies and they were rated as dark spirits. We also heard a bombshell today about Tammy Daybell, Chad Daybell's wife, who died suddenly. She was exhumed, her body was exhumed, and this jury heard today that she died of asphyxiation. So that is new information today. Then it was off to the defense. They were off and running. The defense attorney fumbled at times. Jim Archibald fumbled through papers. He apologized to the jury. And then he said, thank you, members of the jury, for keeping an open mind and for being taxpayers. I was assigned this case. This is some of the things that he said to them, quote.
Oh. Is that why he brought up the whole bomb thing? Because he was kind of like, I'm not trying to defend her, so don't retaliate. Is that what it is? Like, I don't want any retaliation because I had to take this case. I'm not defending her in any way, kind of thing. I don't know. It's just crazy because then you come out with this powerful, in my opinion, a powerful statement.
She life after death. She believed in life after death. And she will see her deceased family again, including her children. He went on to say that the evidence will show that she had a particular interest in the end of times. Thankfully, in this country, we are able to worship as we choose. He said that the pre-trial publicity in this particular case really tainted the public's image of Lori, and he said that you will find her not guilty.
All right. We'll see what happens there. The observations from.
He said you will find her not guilty?
Her case really
Lori
tainted
tainted her own case.
Huh?
I said Lori tainted her own case, not the public. She put this bad image out there of herself.
What do you mean? The zombie shit?
No, when he said the public or everybody out there got tainted by this case by Lori, about Lori Vallow. No, she did that all on her own volition. By what she did to her kids.
Right. I mean, if you have no emotion when the body's
exactly
like as the mom,
right?
You gotta have something. But he says right here that you'll find her not guilty.
We're able to worship as we choose. He said that the pre-trial publicity in this particular case really tainted the public's image of Lori, and he said that you will
I see what
find
you're
her
saying.
not guilty.
Yeah.
Huh.
All right.
He said you'll find her not guilty.
We'll see what happens there. The
Wow.
Observations from I know you're not in the courtroom. Chanley's in the courtroom. She'll be joining us during the lunch break there. There are a lot of rules here, but you mentioned the monitor. What are you noticing? You haven't seen the jury, I take it, but what stands out?
Just really how nonchalant Lori Vallow Daybell is acting. She tilts her head at times. I saw her look up at the sky at one point in time when they mentioned that Alex Cox chose to do the Wi-Fi password on her house, and he text messaged her that the password was too many kids right before her kids went missing. She just looked up at the ceiling at that point in time.
Whoa.
Colby Ryan, we're told by our producer, is in the courtroom, son of Lori Vallow. He has buried his head down many times when they talk about poor little JJ and Tylee in this particular case. We're also having lots of court watchers that are coming up to us and telling us that this is one case that they've followed from the beginning, like you at home. And we met up with a few court watchers before this all started this morning. They were lining up early. Here's what one had to say. Take a listen.
Killing her own kids, that's just, my kids are my heart. And for her to kill her own kids, that doesn't happen in Idaho. That doesn't happen in Boise. We have very low crime. I think anywhere they had the trial, she would be found guilty, because I couldn't even believe it. And because they joined some cult church, it just kills me.
It's about time that the trial is starting. I'd like to know more about what happens. I'm looking forward to seeing the coverage and the verdict, of course.
So those are the themes here in the Boise area. Again, this is about 5 hours from where these crimes took place, where the bodies were located. Ted, but I can tell you, everyone wants more answers, and they really want to get in her head as to why in the first place. But everybody says that they are just here hoping for justice, and this has been a long time coming.
All right. Again, they are still in the mid-morning break there in Idaho. As soon as they're back at it, we'll be getting notes.
That's crazy. That was supposed to be about Tammy Daybell's cause of death, and they really didn't talk about it too much.
Right.
Well, this is the what's his name? Larry Woodcock. This is from East Idaho News. This is an interview that they did with him after the opening statements.
I think the case is moving right on. I'm very proud of the court system, the lawyers, and I think it's been a fair and balanced court.
What's your message for those that are, supporting you and your family?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was all about where are the kids, where are the kids, where are the kids, and now it's about justice, and that's all I'm going to pray for, continue to pray for, is that the court continues in the directions that they're going, and that this proceeds as it should proceed. We want a fair and honest verdict, whichever way it goes. That's all we're asking for. Listen to the evidence and make a fair and honest verdict. Can't ask for any more than that. This is what this is all about. It was stressful. It was nothing more, nothing less. And for that, what else can you ask for? Just give us a fair and just court. That's all we're asking for.
Larry, you said you made eye contact with her 8 times before that morning recess. What was that like when she saw you? Did she keep her eyes fixed on you, or did she quickly look away?
She looked away rather quickly. And
yeah, Lori Vallow Daybell's attorneys made a statement, Skittles, that they weren't her real grandparents, and so they didn't want them to be allowed in the courtroom.
I want in her eyes. That's it. It's just that simple. I just wanted to just look in her eyes, and at this point, I'm not even asking why. Her why would never be justification, and so for that, I saw what I wanted to see.
What did she seem like in there? What was her like to you?
Irrelevant.
Oh.
I think that sums it up. Just an irrelevant relevancy on her part.
Thank you, Larry.
Good.
Thank you.
Good reply.
In and out, so look forward.
Yep.
Are you looking forward to testifying? Are you looking forward to doing?
I don't think they want me testifying. I think that would be my surprise. That's how you do it. You don't make stuff up. You don't give excuses. Just yes, no.
Larry, I had a question for you. What kind of justice do you have?
I want the justice to be a unanimous justice, and I want it to be a fair justice. And I'm not here. I don't have to prove her innocent or guilty. There's 12 good people that have stood up and volunteered for this. And it's not up to me to tell them how to do their business. I would never do that. I truly believe that the judge, the court system, is righteous to the truth, and I do believe that.
This has been more than 3 years coming. What's it like to finally have this day in court?
It's been 4 years. Can y'all believe that? 4 years. A lot of things have changed in all of our lives. Maybe some of y'all weren't here. Maybe some of y'all seen it. You were in college or high school.
Wow.
Parents have died. Things change, and the consistent thing about this is Kay and I have never one time altered, gave up, and wanted to. We just want justice for everybody involved. And if justice says that Lori's not guilty, Lori's going to have to answer to somebody else. It won't be me.
How important is this day in court to you and to Kate?
It's very important. This is what This is what the judicial system is all about, is our day in court. That's all we ask. It's just give us our day in court. Let the truth be known. This is not complicated. We're not reinventing the wheel. Say what you know, be able to.
I like this guy.
And, let's go
Irrelevant,
about our
right?
lives. But I believe in the system. I absolutely believe in the
Her
system.
reactions are irrelevant.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank y'all.
Larry, do you plan to be here every day throughout the whole trial?
Unless the good Lord's got something else that I need to do for him, yeah, I'll be here.
Would you mind showing us your bracelets?
Oh, well,
How do you wear those every day?
I wear them. I've worn them ever since the first one we ever received, and I can't take those off because this is not just about Tylee and G. This is about Charles and Tammy and others, and we know who those others are. So it's important. It's important for me, for myself, and for Kay that we all remember everybody in this. This was simply not the death of two children and how this has affected everybody's life. I mean, it's just, we just want justice. That's all. And I truly believe in the court system. I'm the biggest advocate of 12 jurors and a fair and honest judicial system. And I think we've got it. I really do. And let's just continue that this will continue this way, and that everybody is just screwed.
I'm glad he's that confident.
Yeah. Let's just hope they get the justice they deserve.
I don't know. It seems I don't know. It's going to be an interesting trial. I don't know. Man, the videos are so long too, to try and listen to. Unless you're actually watching it live, it's probably hard to catch up on it with the amount of time it takes. I'm going to switch to another video. This is from Law and Crime Network. And this is 7 surprising facts about Doomsday Cult mom Lori Vallow Daybell. And it shows up with Wheel of Fortune right away. Crazy. But 7 surprising facts. Law and Crime Network.
802 G's.
I want to go. Okay. Gopher, Doc, Isaac, and Captain Steubing.
Yeah!
Lori Vallow Daybell, known to the world as one half of the Doomsday Couple, but there's more to her than that. We found 7 things about her you may not have known until now.
All right, before we kick off our latest episode of Sidebar, we got to thank our sponsor of this video, YouGov. So YouGov is the go-to side hustle for so many people. It pays to give your valuable opinions. You see, as a member, you're going to earn points for giving your actual opinions that matter by completing short surveys and polls. It's free to join and so easy to use to get extra cash. Here's how it works. You earn points by completing short surveys and polls. You can do surveys when you have some downtimes on the weekend, and the extra cash that you earn goes towards doing things that you love to do, like watching Marvel movies, golfing, shopping. Those are actually some of the things I like to do, but you get the point. You can answer questions about health, politics, personality, even cats and dogs. And once you get enough points, you can turn them in for gift cards and cash incentives. All you got to do is click the link in the description box below, and then you can start making some extra money on your own schedule.
I'm Anjanette Levy, and welcome to Law and Crime's Sidebar podcast. Lori Vallow Daybell has spent the week in a courtroom in Ada County, Idaho. That's in the Boise area. And this is where jury selection has been taking place. Judge Stephen Boyce has barred cameras from Lori Vallow Daybell's trial, but a courtroom artist is capturing images of the process. Opening statements are scheduled for Monday, April 10th, and Law and Crime will have those covered for you. But back to Lori. We know that she's incredibly religious, that she was raised a Mormon. She met Chad Daybell while she was still married to her late husband, Charles Vallow. Chad Daybell is a self-proclaimed prophet, author, and podcast host. Chad will be tried separately for the murders of Lori's children, Ryan and JJ Vallow, and Chad's wife, Tammy Daybell. Lori is accused of murdering Tylee and JJ and conspiring to kill
Good night,
Tammy.
Jinx.
She's also accused of using Social Security benefits for JJ and Tylee after they died. Lori lived in Arizona when she met Chad and then later moved to Idaho, where he lived. Chad is Lori's 5th husband. We've heard from Lori in an interview with police in Arizona after her brother Alex Cox shot her 4th husband, Charles. Take a listen to a little bit of that interview. Lori really has a gift for gab.
He was just so angry, like super scary.
Did you
know how
think-
you take your phone away from like a 16-year-old and they freak out?
Uh-huh.
Like their world disintegrates. Like I've taken my phone away from a 16-year-old boy before, and he like, he's like wanted to kill himself because like they kidnapped him. That's how it was. It was like something on his phone that he does not want me to see. That he was like freaking out, like to the point where I thought he would hit me in the back of the head to get the phone.
Okay. So you thought, and not, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you thought it was possible that he was going to hurt you.
Absolutely, he was going to hurt me and Tylee.
Okay.
Not JJ. He would never hurt JJ.
Okay.
And he hurt my brother. Like he was going like ballistic about. It was bad.
Okay.
John Blatt is the author of the book The Doomsday Mother, so he knows a lot about Lori Vallow Daybell, and he is here with us to discuss these 7 surprising facts about Lori Vallow Daybell. So, John, welcome to Sidebar. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It's good to see you. I'm really interested in hearing about how you became interested in this case and why you wrote the book.
Yeah, well, I think like a lot of other people, I read about it very early on when they were still looking for the, JJ and Tylee, where are the children? I got interested. I've written a lot of true crime books, but I just thought this really piqued my curiosity. I wanted to find out more, and I took it to my publishers, Martin's Press, and they commissioned it. So I went ahead.
Did you talk to a lot of people who knew her?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I mean, I spoke to a lot of her friends, whatever. I spoke to Kay and Larry Woodcock briefly, though they wouldn't be quoted in the book because they were doing their own. But I spoke to a lot of people that knew them, especially spoke to one of Laura's best friends at school who knew her very well. That gave me a lot of new insight into her.
Well, that's actually very interesting. So, John, let's talk about these 7 things that we are looking at. Things some people may not know. People who follow this case incredibly closely may be aware of these things. But one of the things that shocked me when I was looking at this
Not
topic
me.
was the fact that Lori Vallow Daybell was a contestant on the Wheel of Fortune. I had no idea. So let's take a quick look at one of the clips, and then we'll talk about it.
Hi, how you doing, Lori?
I'm good,
Lori
how are you?
Ryan from Austin, Texas.
That's right.
Hairstylist in Austin, hey?
That's right, the best.
How's the hair in Austin?
It's good.
Good.
Us is a happening place.
Probably thanks to you.
Pretty much.
Talk about your family a little bit.
I have a wonderful husband, Joseph, at home, who is watching our 2 beautiful children, Colby, who's 7, and Tylee, who is 1.
Yeah, what do you guys like to do for fun?
We like to play all kinds of sports on our 3 acres.
Okay, sounds like you have a nice life there.
We do.
Congratulations.
Thank
Nice to have you with us.
John, what do you think of that? How does Lori Vallow Daybell end up on the Wheel of Fortune?
Well, Lori says she told her sister, in fact, that she had a message from God that she was needed to appear on the Wheel of Fortune.
What?
And she entered for it. She actually got on the show. It's very interesting that she mentioned her husband at the time, Joe Ryan, who she was in the process of divorcing, but also her children, Tylee and Colby, she mentions. and she was bantering with Pat Sajak, and in fact ended up winning $17,500.
Right,
And
Kel?
she told everybody it was a gift from God.
Do we know about what year this was?
I think it was 2001. It was about 20 years ago, maybe
And
2002.
She just looks like a nice young woman, mom, blonde woman. I guess when I watched that clip, I was shocked because it seems like a much different person than the person we see now. We only know her through this case. So she, even back then, she's talking about getting messages from God and like believing in some type of religion.
So not some
Oh yes,
Chad.
I mean this goes back, predates that even.
Oh, wow.
She was
Way before
she was
Chad.
always talking that she was in contact with the spirits from behind the veil. Especially, this is another point. Her late sister Stacy, who died of diabetes many years earlier, she believed that she, spoke to her every night, and that Tylee was actually the reincarnation of her dead sister Stacy, and she firmly believed that.
What?
So she did this
What?
for many years. It wasn't something new.
Interesting. Okay, so let's get to that part because you said that she believed that Tylee was the reincarnation of her dead elder sister Stacy. Let's talk about that. Tell me about this.
Well, Stacy had an eating disorder, and I think she was like 5 or 6 years older than Laurie, and she died very tragically because she wasn't taking her medicine and she wasn't eating, and she died of sort of diabetes-related things. The family were very, very upset, and Laurie became very close to Stacy's daughter, also called Melanie, and became like a second mother to her. And she was convinced that she would, she was in constant contact with Stacy.
Let's talk about this now, John. It sounds like Laurie Vallow Daybell dances to religious music in front of her room-length mirror late at night. What do we know about this?
Well, this goes back a long way. I mean, she even had her third husband, Charles Vallow, give her a special room. He built a special room with a full-length mirror, and late at night she would just turn on the music and dance in front of it. And this is something she did constantly. Wherever she lived, she always had mirrors up and she would dance. And in fact, I understand that when she was in jail, the inmates would say that she still danced late at night in her cell.
What?
So
oh my God.
What?
With God, I guess. I'm not sure.
So this is that she was. This is something that she's been doing for a while.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about this. Her bedroom closet portal, where she believed that Chad spiritually visited her late at night. Tell us a little bit about this, John.
Yeah, she told her best friend Melanie Gibb that wherever Chad was, he would come and visit, and they had a special portal in her bedroom closet.
What?
Although he didn't come physically, he came spiritually, and they would be able to talk and pray together and commune, and make their plans, for the end of the world, and how they were going to, lead the 144,000 people to the next life.
Whoa.
Interesting. Next up, let's talk about this, John, how she persuaded inmates to make her red lipstick out of Jolly Rancher candies and eyeliner from pencils for her court appearances.
What?
Convincing other people to do this for her. Why isn't this something maybe that she could have done for herself? Obviously, this is somebody who is concerned about her appearance.
Wow.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Laurie was a total narcissist. I mean, and she really cared about her appearance, and she liked to look the best in court.
Jolly Ranchers
and I think
pencils.
She befriended the other inmates, who were more experienced. They'd been there longer than her when she was first arrested, and they taught her how to make, bright red lipstick out of Jolly Rancher candy. And you can see in the videos of her court appearances this, I mean, garish red lipstick that she had. And they also, you know, she did an eyeliner from pencils. And this was like surviving behind bars for Laurie, to look her best, you know, when the cameras were on her, you know, when she did court appearances. And I can't help but think this may be one of the reasons there are no cameras. That Judge Boyce did not allow cameras in the court, because he knew Laurie would play up to it and act like she was, you know, at a Hollywood opening or something.
But it doesn't matter about TV.
This
It
is
matters
very,
about
I
the
find
jury.
this odd though, because she's
So
able to
the
convince
jury
these
still
people.
sees
She's
it.
obviously made friends in jail. That's not unusual. But the whole thing about being able to convince people to do something, this kind of reminds me of going back to the body camera footage when Charles Vallow was killed by her brother Alex Cox, and she seemed to be able to convince these police officers of that nothing, you know, that she didn't do anything wrong, her brother didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, she was very persuasive. I mean, she knew how to make people, put people at their ease, communicate to them and relate to them. And that's one of the things she was very good at. She had a natural gift for relating to people. And I'm sure that's what she did with the other inmates, you know, who probably really liked her and wanted to help her.
All right. Now let's talk about this part, because I always kind of wondered, what did Laurie Daybell do for a living?
I'll be
And
getting to that,
apparently,
Pam.
Laurie Vallow Daybell, she's had several different names, had a home salon where she cut her clients' hair. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Laurie did for a living right at the beginning. She was a hairdresser. She worked in salons.
Okay. I'm going to get off. I'm going to go to bed.
Okay, well, thank you. Thanks for hopping up. We just got a little bit more stuff to go through. I know it's getting late. I appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, you have a good evening.
You too. Thank you so much. That's why I was like, yeah, I'm just going to cover Laurie Vallow tonight. There's so much stuff on this. There's another 5-minute News Nation video. And then I'll be getting to that link, Pam, and then I'll be ending the show here shortly. So I appreciate all you guys hanging out and your thoughts and your opinions and your support. It means a lot.
Well, you have a good night.
Arizona.
You too. Thank you, Kip Kitty.
And when she married Charles Vallow, he actually gave her a home salon.
Good evening,
Also, her
Kaleidoscope of
previous
Crime.
husband, Joe
I like that
Biden, gave
name.
her a home salon too. So she would have her clients over, cut her hair. She'd cut relations' hair and whatever, and that's what she liked to do. And supposedly she was very good at it, you know.
Is this something that she had done for years and years, or what do we know about that?
Well, that's the only job I could ever find Laurie had, you know, was working in salons, cutting hair, you know, beautician. So that's what she did for a living before she met, you know, the men that would keep her, you know.
I know that there are sometimes, you know, in jails at least, they'll have somebody come in, a barber or some type of person to provide this service. Is there any chance, I can't imagine giving an inmate, somebody who is charged with a serious crime as murder, a pair of scissors and having her have that kind of job in jail? Is there any indication that she's doing things for her fellow female inmates with this?
No, I don't have a clue. It's been very, you know, hush-hush what's gone on behind bars since she was arrested. But I can say every court appearance, she looks really coiffed. Her hair looks perfect. She's got the makeup and everything. So, I mean, she's gone to a great deal of trouble to look good for these court appearances. But whether she's cutting other people's hair in return, I have no way of knowing.
Okay, interesting. That's just something I wondered about, since she seems to be very focused on appearance. Our next topic here, our next little factoid, is the fact that she competed in a beauty pageant. So is this something in your research that you found that went on for her whole life? Or talk to us a little bit about what you discovered.
No, she actually won, I think, Mrs. Hayes County competition, beauty pageant in Texas. She competed with that, actually. She didn't win it. She was one of the finalists. journalists, and there's video of her, being interviewed. There was a swimsuit part of it, there was a costume part of it, and then she was interviewed, and she gave a very very interesting interview for that. But I think she wanted to compete for Mrs. Texas. That was her next thing, but unfortunately, she didn't get through to it.
Do we have any indication? I want to go back to the religion part of this, John. Do we have any indication that this is something? I mean, was she raised in an incredibly religious household? Was she always a Mormon? What do we know about that?
Well, her parents were Mormon. She was raised in a Mormon family. I mean, they went to church, they practiced, but I mean, Laurie's childhood friend told me that they were always very surprised because Laurie's mother, Janice, would go out in hot pants and leopard skin tops and everything, and looked anything but a devout Mormon. She was very fashionable in that way. So nobody really knows, but Laurie always claimed to be, in the religion, and later on she got more and more devout.
As far as the beauty pageant stuff, John, was this, I forgot what you said about whether or not she was doing this for long periods of time or.
No, I think that was the only one, the Mrs. She was looking for Mrs. Texas, so she went in the early stages and went to Mrs. Hayes County, and didn't win that.
John, do you think that you'll be traveling to Idaho for this trial at all?
No, I don't. I mean, basically, I probably wouldn't get in the courtroom. I finished the book over a year ago. I've moved on since then, to other projects. So no, I'm not going to be going to Idaho. And unfortunately, I would have been watching it on television if it had been allowed cameras in the court, like the Murdoch trial. For the book I've just written on Alex Murdoch, but that's not going to happen. So like everyone else, I'm just, getting it through Twitter and other, reportage.
So not something you're continuing to follow very closely, but obviously something that captivated your attention and you decided, hey, this could make a good book.
Pretty much, yes. But, I've been following it pretty closely, since I finished the book. But for me to go to Idaho and cover it, I don't think so.
All right. Well, John Glad, author of The Doomsday Mother, we appreciate your time and appreciate you joining us. Thanks so much. And we look forward to having you on again.
The author of The Doomsday Mother. That's interesting. Kevin, you still there? Oh, I think he might have passed out. Yeah, I'll have to catch the replay, man. But I'll definitely catch it tomorrow. Also, Grizz, maybe tomorrow we can get together and chat. If I don't know what you got going on Thursday night, but we're going to be talking Delphi. Justice Served Daily is going to be on panel. Jinx is going to be on panel. If you'd like to hop up and be on panel for the Delphi stuff, you're more than welcome to, Grizz. Just let me know. But I do want to do a show where it's just you and me, Grizz. But we can chat about that. I do want to show where it's just you and me, though. Talking about your rabbit hole. Just you and me. What the hell? Unless you want to bring it up Thursday night if you want to hop in. I don't know. This shit's crazy. Ask me what. And I subbed to you as well, Kaleidoscope. Thank you. I went ahead and put your channel link in my other creators notepad that I have. That's funny as hell. Thank you again for checking out the channel. I appreciate it. We really dive into the Stephen Smith case. So if you ever get bored, check out my playlist on Stephen Smith's mysterious death and cover-up. And I call it cover-up because it's been a cover-up. Save it. You just with StreamYard you can set for a later date and time. So like usually what I'll do is I'll set my notifications at lunch during the day. That way it sends out a notification throughout the middle of the day, and then it kind of lets you know what I'm going to be talking about, cuz through the first half of the day I'm kind of deciding for sure what's going to be on for the evening, and then I send out the notification usually about 6 hours early, 7 hours early. Yeah, I'll have to check out your channel, Kaleidoscope. If you cover cases in Canada, I'm definitely going to check out your channel tomorrow while I'm working. Just crazy shit. Okay, so this other video here, this is Doomsday Mom, Lori Vallow's former friend. They're so evil. And this is another video from Elizabeth Vargas from News Nation. We haven't really watched too much of her, but she keeps popping up now. Maybe she's a new show. I don't know. Oh, you might need StreamYard. StreamYard ain't nothing though, man. Just use your mobile web browser on your phone. Just go to StreamYard.com, and it's great, man. You can link up your Twitch, Twitter, whatever your socials are, and then stream to all three of them at the same time. StreamYard, I love, even with mobile. I mean, you can't like screen share or do any of that stuff with the mobile, but to be able to listen, I was trying for the longest to be able to even stream on YouTube, and I couldn't until I ran into StreamYard. And then when I ran into StreamYard and started messing around with it, I was like, holy shit, I can actually have my freaking show on YouTube. So I'm telling you, like, I don't know. I use Twitch though. Set up, if you don't have Twitch, set up a Twitch account, and then you can use Twitch to do all your editing for your shows, because you can set it up to save it. If you need help with that, let me know. Any content creators out there, don't use the StreamYard data backup or whatever, the saved space or whatever. StreamYard's editing tool sucks. Set yourself up a free Twitch account. If you need help, reach out to me. Set it up, save past broadcasts. All you do is go back to, it's an extra extension for you to get reach. And the video editing is like by far way better than StreamYard. You can there's so many options with it. I use Twitch to edit any of my small videos. I use Twitch. The options are so much better. The layout for the editing program is so easy. And plus, that is a free way to save your previous shows, and it saves up to 2 or 3 weeks. So you have 2 or 3 weeks to go back to any of the episodes if you need to. And if you need to save one, you just change it to a highlight, and then it's saved forever if you ever need to go back to it. So if you have interviews or anything like that, just save it as a highlight, and then it's there forever. You don't have to pay for data storage. You don't have to pay for some editing program. I'm telling you, you not only get an extra extension for your stream to be put out there in other places, but you don't have to pay for nothing. It's all free with Twitch. So if any content creators out there would like me to help them set it up, the settings and all that other stuff, really, it would only take 10 or 15 minutes, and it ain't no problem, because I would advise any content creator out there to use Twitch for the editing software if you don't want to pay for anything. Yeah, what I mean by free is because a lot of people will pay the $25, to get the 50 gigabyte storage. A lot of people will pay the $25 for the storage when you just set up a Twitch. It's another extension for you to put your stream out there, and you don't have to pay for any of the data storage because Twitch stores it for free. Twitch account is free. The editing software for Twitch is free. You can link it up to your YouTube, and then all you have to do is hit export when you're done making your video, and it automatically uploads it to YouTube. That's what I use. So, yeah, definitely let me know if anybody does need help. All right. So I do have a YouTube. Oh, well, shoot. I can help you set it up as well. Just reach out to me, and this weekend I can always, because I'm pretty busy during the week with the shows and work and all the prep. But and then tomorrow I got a lot of stuff I got to do beyond the show, and so probably Saturday or Sunday, if you want to reach out to me, I can definitely help anybody that needs help. And I could always do an offline StreamYard if people would want to hop in that way. I'll screen share it to you, and then if a group of people want to hop in and check it out and set theirs up at the same time as I'm kind of going through mine and showing you what to set and the settings and everything, we could do that too. Maybe I'll make a video out of it. Maybe I should do that this weekend. Here's how to help, here's how to have Twitch help you. Something like that. Yeah, no problem. Sent message in private. Okay. Oh, thank you, Dre. Appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to go into this last video here, and then we're going to check this link that Pam sent us.
And turning now to another sensational trial that is beginning this week in Idaho, where Lori Vallow is accused of killing her 2 youngest children. Police say she's part of a doomsday cult, and that she and the cult's leader murdered the kids and the leader's wife after deciding they were all possessed.
Just go to StreamYard.com on your mobile browser or your PC browser. You can only screen share with the PC, but if you're using mobile, you can still do banners and all that other stuff. So if anybody would need help with anything, just reach out to me, message me on whatever, and we can kind of work through the next couple days and set up a time and day this weekend, and I can help you out.
Jury selection is almost complete. Opening arguments will begin soon. And joining us with the latest in Boise, Idaho is National News Nation senior national correspondent. Brian, you've got to get a shorter title. I think, it's just too important and big. Yeah. What's going on? How's jury selection? What questions are they asking potential jurors?
Can somebody throw Skittles link in
finally,
chat?
Elizabeth, it seems like jury selection is starting to wrap up. They've been asking all sorts of questions about whether they're familiar with the Lori Vallow case, the way they would possibly process evidence. It's so disturbing on so many levels, this case. I've been talking to people who knew Lori Vallow, who say at one point she was a wonderful woman. She was the kind of lady that if you went to a party, you didn't know anyone, she'd immediately come up to you, she'd give you a hug. But then they say she joined the doomsday cult.
Can you tell me where are your kids? No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. Do you have nothing to say?
It's so hard to wrap your mind. Lori Vallow could do the unthinkable, but people who knew her say they saw her change. How does someone who you knew as a very nice person go from that to being able to or being of killing her children?
I think you have to really understand them as a people and their belief system.
People once in Lori's circle, like this woman who only wants to be identified as Jess, say Lori was always religious, a devout Mormon, but then got sucked into Chad Daybell's doomsday cult, where followers about a dark league system for people to specify they had a contract with God or Satan.
They don't see the zombies as people. They see them the way someone would see a cockroach being controlled by a parasite. Killing the kids to them is mercy. And as disturbing as that is, as it is to wrap your mind around it, that's why someone who spent all these years being kind and loving could then do that.
Cult experts say there's no way to profile the kind of people who can be manipulated into joining a cult. In fact, people who are smart and educated often fall prey, and the extreme beliefs can be hard to erase.
And any new content creators out there as well, I just want to say this, to you, Skittles, or anybody else that's trying to start their own channel or be a content creator. If you would like me to be on your channel, to be on the live with you, to kind of take the pressure off, to kind of help you find the footing, and you would want me to hop on with you to take the pressure off and kind of help your first show or two or whatever it is, uh, just let me know too. I would love to be able, and I just subscribed as well, Skittles. I would love to be able to help any, because I know how I felt when I started my show out, and after the first couple weeks, some weird shit fucking went crazy, and I was introduced to YouTube, and then and then after that, it was kind of, I've just been, you see me now. If you go back 3 months ago, I would probably be a totally different um, host. Like, you just kind of learn as time goes. And so, like, anybody, I know how it feels when it's coming to your first show or the first kind of content you're trying to make, and it's really nerve-wracking, and you're worried, and you just, all of these things, you're wanting the show to be good, there's so many things on your mind. So if anybody would like me to just hop up with you for an evening and just help take the pressure off, let me know too. I'm totally cool with that. I know, how I would feel in that situation, and so I just want to make sure that, with how much you guys support me, I'm always uh, willing to support you guys back. What's up, Justice? Thank you for hopping in. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I hear that. I hate moving. I can't stand moving, and I can't stand painting walls. Ugh. I'll put in a floor. I'll build a wall, but man, I cannot stand painting. Ugh. Or
Do you think
moving.
Lori Vallow is in the courtroom still in a trance? Believed did to the kids was the right thing.
I don't know if I would call it a trance, but it's some sort of belief system, what I've heard. And I also don't know if I'd say that she thinks she did the right thing. Maybe she does. But I don't think she thinks she did the wrong thing. That she is still a believer of some very extreme beliefs to this day.
Jess believes Lori is still holding on to her zombie beliefs because she says it may be the only way Lori can mentally cope with killing her own children. What do you think about Al and Lori?
They were so evil. I think about the fact that a person that killed Jill touched me. Think about how I want to myself.
And you can imagine, Elizabeth, how hard it is for people who knew Lori. It was hard when they went through this when she was arrested years ago, and now it's sort of drumming it all back up with the court process. Jury selection seems like it's finally wrapping up. Just a couple more decisions to make inside the courthouse behind me. Opening statements could begin as soon as tomorrow morning. Elizabeth?
Wow. And we know that he was also accused of murdering Lori's wife. Their cause of death. They've been very close. They've kept that information very close about cause of death and what they think actually happened. And you say that the questions that they were asking the jurors might lead some evidence that she had planned the murders, but obviously still did she help plan them?
It's been interesting, some of these questions, for what the lawyers are getting at when they question these potential jurors. A couple of the questions have been things like, when there's a bank robbery, would you blame the getaway driver as much as you would blame the actual robber? They asked a couple of times about a cookie jar. They said if you had kids who stole cookies from a cookie jar and there were crumbs left to the jar, next to the jar, and you never actually saw the kids take the cookies, could you still presume that they actually stole those cookies? So
Right.
behind that, in minds of the as they make things could start tomorrow.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find news on your television provider.
Holy crap, she's speaking fast. Good night, Dre. Appreciate you hopping in real quick. Yeah, just reach out anytime. Yeah, feel better. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and switch to this link from Pam, and then I'm going to go ahead and end the evening. I'll be off tomorrow night. Might put out a couple short videos or something. But then we'll be back Thursday night with Delphi. We'll be talking Delphi for the first time in a really long time. So that's going to be exciting. All right, this is a link from Pam. Thank you. And okay, I don't know if I can play the audio because last time I played a video like this, I actually got in trouble from YouTube.
Are in direct conflict with biblical Christianity. The following piece of animation, based directly on actual Mormon publications, highlights these major doctrinal differences.
Mormonism teaches that trillions of planets scattered throughout the cosmos are ruled by countless gods who want human like us. They say that long ago on one of these planets, to an unidentified god and one of his goddess wives, a spirit child named Elohim was conceived. This spirit child was later born to human parents who gave him a physical body. Through obedience to Mormon teaching and death and resurrection, he proved himself worthy and was elevated to godhood as his father before him. Mormons believe that Elohim is their heavenly father and that he lives with his many goddess wives on a planet near a mysterious star called Kora. Here, the God of Mormonism and his wives, through endless celestial sex, produced billions of spirit children. To decide their destiny, the head of the Mormon gods called a great heavenly council meeting. Both of Elohim's eldest sons were there, Lucifer and his brother Jesus.
Whoa.
A plan was presented to build planet Earth, where the spirit children would be sent to take on mortal bodies and learn good from evil. Lucifer stood and made his bid for becoming savior of this new world. Wanting the glory for himself, he planned to force everyone to become gods. Opposing the idea, the Mormon Jesus suggested giving man his freedom of choice, as on other planets.
Oh, we're playing it,
The
Pam.
vote that followed approved the proposal of the Mormon Jesus, who would become savior of the planet Earth. In Lucifer.
And I'm going to go ahead and pause it just to make sure. But the Illuminati ain't looking at me. We already talked about that. So I'm playing this shit. Thank you, Jinx. I appreciate your help.
Cunningly convinced 1/3 of the spirits destined for Earth to fight with him in revolt. Thus, Lucifer became the devil and his followers the demons. Sent to this world, they would forever be denied bodies of flesh and bone. Those who remained neutral in the battle were cursed to be born with black skin. This is the Mormon explanation for the Negro race.
I know I keep thinking, like in my head, I keep hearing, I have the power.
This is the Mormon explanation for the Negro race. The spirits that fought most valiantly against Lucifer would be born into Mormon families on planet Earth. These would be the lighter-skinned people, or white and delightsome, as the Book of Mormon describes them. Early Mormon prophets taught that Elohim and one of his goddess wives came to Earth as Adam and Eve to start the human race. Thousands of years later, Elohim, in human form once again, journeyed to Earth from the starbase Kolob, this time to have sex with the Virgin Mary, in order to provide Jesus with a physical body. After Jesus Christ grew to manhood, he took at least 3 wives, Mary, Martha, and Mary Magdalene. Through these wives, the Mormon Jesus, for whom Joseph Smith claimed direct descent,
Hold on a
supposedly
minute. They just admitted Mary Magdalene was a wife? Whoa.
For whom Joseph Smith claimed direct descent, supposedly fathered a number of children before he was crucified. According to the Book of Mormon, after his resurrection, Jesus came to the Americas to preach to the Indians, who the Mormons believe are really Israelites. Thus, the Jesus of Mormonism established his church in the Americas as he had in Palestine.
Wow,
By
the
the year
sound.
421
That's
AD,
pretty graphic.
the dark-skinned Indian Israelites, known as Lamanites, had destroyed all of the white Nephites in a number of great battles. The Nephites' records were supposedly written on golden plates and buried by Moroni, the last living Nephite in the hill Cumorah. 1,400 years later, a young treasure seeker named Joseph Smith, who was known for his tall tales, claimed to have uncovered these same gold plates near his home in upstate New York. He is now honored by Mormons as a prophet because he claimed to have had visions from the spirit world in which he was commanded to organize the Mormon Church, because all Christian creeds were an abomination. It was Joseph Smith who originated most of these peculiar doctrines, which millions today believe to be true. By maintaining a rigid code of financial and moral requirements and through performing secret temple rituals for themselves and the dead, the Latter-day Saints hope to prove their worthiness and thus become gods. The Mormons teach that everyone must stand at the final judgment before Joseph Smith, the Mormon Jesus, and Elohim. Those Mormons who were sealed in the eternal marriage ceremony expect to become polygamous gods in the Sioux Kingdom, rule over other planets, and spawn new families throughout eternity. The Mormons thank God for Joseph Smith, who claimed that he had done more for us than any other man, including Jesus Christ. The Mormons believe that he died as a martyr, shed his blood for us, so that we too may become gods.
Although there are thousands of Mormon churches throughout the world, there are only a few dozen Mormon temples. These massive structures play a vital role in the Mormons' quest for godhood. Mormons must engage in a series of occultic rituals inside the temple in order to become a candidate for godhood. Only an elite selection of devout Mormons are allowed to enter. To do so, the potential Mormon god must adhere to a strict code of ethics, including abstinence from tobacco or caffeine-based products, paying a full tithe to the Mormon Church, and wearing of the magic Mormon underwear 24 hours a day.
He has to receive a satisfactory interview from his bishop and from his stake president. There he's asked, or she is asked, certain rather penetrating questions about their worthiness, their morality. If he's a full tithe payer, that is the only way that can be Heavenly Father. Otherwise, we could not be in his presence.
The motivation for the Mormon male to commit to such requirements is the promise of endless celestial sex, with thousands of goddess wives, along with a personal planet to rule and reign over. However, Mormon males who fail to meet all of the necessary requirements risk being castrated upon their entrance to heaven.
So you can see why the temple is so important to the Latter-day Saint, because if he is worthy to go into the temple and there receive the sacred ordinances and covenants and keep them, he can eventually grow into becoming a god himself.
Tell me who God the Father is to you.
He is like you and I, every human being on the face of the earth.
Oh, is he a man?
Yes, he is.
How did he get to be God?
Yeah, he's perfect in every way.
So if we are perfect, can we become like God?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that was a pretty interesting video. But I think when it comes down to any religion, I think it's all about treating other people the way you would want to be treated, regardless of any religion. It's when people like Vallow and Daybell use those in some weird, sick, twisted way to justify them doing what they want to do. Sorry. All right, so I'm going to go to this. I'm going to share this again with everybody in case you're hopping in here late. This is a link from SRB. Thank you for this. This is the latest. This is the latest timeline of events in the Vallow Daybell murder case. The videos, links, and all the dates and details of this case from the very beginning up until now. So very informative article, a lot to go through. So definitely give it a check. Thank you so much for that, SRB. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out tonight. I know it's a 4-hour episode. I didn't even notice. But I feel like for those who weren't familiar with this case, which I really wasn't too much, the timeline in the beginning, the new updates that have came out, I feel like, even though it's 4 hours, I feel like we got everything that we needed to get in for this episode. So I just want to say thank you to all for hanging out this whole time. I appreciate your support. I hope you guys have a peaceful and positive evening. I can't wait for Thursday. I'm excited. And I can't wait to see you guys again on Thursday night. Hope you have a peaceful and positive sleep and evening. Thank you so much for everything, everybody. And we'll see you back on Thursday.